he did. But when he's a guest...
like those Jell-O commercials.
Yeah, well, God bless you.
It was weird, he didn't sit next to Jay either. They had an empty chair, then Bill. There was a whole chair between them. Well, I'm
sure that was Bill's shtick, you know. He had some shtick going that he dragged on way too long.
But he was the whole show. He was on for, for half an hour.
Oh, good luck.
Jay really needed you.
You're not kidding. No wonder Jay's upset.
That's why he was calling every day. He only had Bill Cosby.
For a half hour.
Maybe he left that seat for you, in case you showed up.
Yeah, that's it. Like Elianuvi, the great Italian saint.
What?
Oh, yes. No, the Italian great festival. There's a festival where Elianuvi comes and visits. You leave a glass for him at the table, and he comes and he visits the house.
Okay.
All right? And he's a great Italian saint.
Well, that's your religion.
All right, you understand?
The bell went off.
There you go. There you go. Very good. So I'm glad I didn't do it. I got a slow audience here. All right, very good. I laugh at your joke. You bastard. Very good. Okay. Here we are. Let's take some phone calls from around the country. That's always fun. Las Vegas, you're on the air.
Howard.
Yes.
Good morning, King of all media.
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you, I was wondering if you were still hiring for somebody to get your lunch. No. Let me tell you, last week with Pete Rose was hilarious.
Thank you.
My thighs are still killing me.
Thank you very much.
Howard, I love you.
Oh, thank you.
And you have a good day, pal.
All right, thank you, pal. That's my pal. Go to Philadelphia. Haven't been there in a while. Philadelphia, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, man.
How you doing, man? I heard there's a clip about the Power of Howard on Channel 10 coming up, and I don't know when it's going to be.
I don't understand what you're saying, but it sounds like a complimentary phone call.
Oh, yeah, it's about the power you have over the governor's race in New York. Pataki's governor, but you got him in.
Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is definitely true. Listen, you know, I've seen some people say, oh, Howard Stern claims to have gotten Pataki. I don't, listen, it's a known fact. The guy was down 20 points in the polls. We came on like gangbusters and really campaigned for the guy, and he came right back up.
Oh, yeah.
Because our audience votes as a block, pretty much.
Well, you should have still been a write-in, though.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
Thanks, Howard.
Very good.
Bye.
Well, it's funny you should say write-in because someone handed me this. In Florida, you know, they had a governor's race.
Yeah.
And I guess people were trying to express their sentiments about the campaign. So a lot of people wrote in, and Forrest Gump had the most write-in votes for governor. But his nearest competitor was Howard Stern.
Is that right?
Yes.
In Florida?
Yes.
Coming on strong.
Fred Flintstone and Pee Wee Herman were right behind you.
And these are all made-up characters. I was the only real guy. So I'm very proud of that. Well, all of them are smarter than Bush. Hey, I was thinking. You know, I'm always thinking. That's what gets us into trouble. I was thinking for my next video.
Yes. You were thinking of a next video?
Yeah.
Well, that's news.
I haven't released a video in a long time.
Right, but I thought you were working on a movie.
Well, I am, but while I'm waiting for them to come up with a script, I'm bored.
Yes.
You know, if I'm not writing books, I'm thinking. Ready?
Okay.
Howard Stern's tickling video.
Oh, no.
Now listen to this.
I saw the tickling episode.
Was that great? Was that great?
You're so crazy.
Let me tell you, that was one of the funniest things I ever saw. Can you imagine it shot well with different guest celebrities getting tickled and tortured?
There you go.
Huh? Is it brilliant?
Big seller.
Big seller? You don't think so, huh?
Among the tickling community.
Yeah, but come on. I've been thinking about it.
Are there a lot of people out there who would like that?
I don't know, and then I was thinking maybe, like you get a half hour of puppets, you know, dirty puppet show, half hour tickling.
Oh, dear.
And then maybe we throw in a couple of sketches and stuff. Tickling in 3D, you know. I'm thinking about it. Thinking about
feet come out at you?
Yeah.
Tickle them yourself?
Yeah, you get to tickle the feet yourself. Celebrity enema. Pamela Anderson, you know? Something like that, yeah. All right, Pamela, how are you, honey?
Good.
Oh. All right, clean yourself out.
Howie.
Oh. And then Jackie will have his own segment where he tells insulting jokes face-to-face to the celebrities. Like we send Jackie out on different things.
Yeah, just follow him with a camera while he goes to parties and ruins and empties the room.
Hey, speaking of it, hey, Patty,
Alzheimer's, the long goodbye. Oh, did you ever see anybody go like that? It's really funny. They look in the mirror and they have to introduce themselves. Jackie. Reagan's okay so far. Every morning he takes a dump at 8 o'clock. Although he doesn't wake up till 9.
There you go. Right to Patty Davis's face. We'll do that on tape. And we'll send him to North Carolina to talk to the father of the 2 boys.
Oh.
Imagine Jackie talking to that guy after his wife drives him into the river.
Did they have any loot?
He'll be the.
You got any loot? Hey, those kids have a trust fund?
You know, it'll be like insulting stuff to Jackie, because he'll be like the insulting Sally Jesse Raphael. Sally's the sensitive one, and Jackie's the insulting one.
Jackie goes to the funeral to be insensitive.
Right.
Hey, mister, you want to buy a car seat and a snorkel? Hey, having a garage sale? I need toys for Christmas. For my nieces. Let me comfort you. Yeah. I can identify with your pain. I lost a couple of dogs once. Let's go be sad together.
Drinking beer.
Wipe my mouth, mister. Did you ever try to change a diaper underwater? Comedy alert!
Jackie in South Carolina consoling the family of the Smiths.
Yeah, the Smith family.
Right.
Let's all get together and drown Sally Jesse. Comedy train pulling in.
Comedy train.
There he is.
Look at me. Look at me.
Jackie won't look at the puppet. And the puppet attacks him and goes, look at me.
He's right there in his face.
Look into my eyes.
See that thing in my ear.
How do you make a baby float?
How?
Take 2 scoops of ice cream and a nutty buddy.
Jackie, are you done consoling the family of Susan Smith? All right, there he is. Okay, so we have a video where, like, Jackie consoles different families. I do tickling segments with, like, celebrity girls.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, a couple of puppet shows featuring the different puppets from the show. And we're all puppets. We all work our own puppets.
You can argue with them.
Yeah.
I'm done. I told you what happened yesterday. You want to pretend like you were there? Pretend like you were there. You lying sack of crap.
All right.
I'm going back to the strip clubs.
Notice when I argue with Jackie, I never gets personal. I never call him a lion sack of crap or anything like that. But yeah, I just like people to say.
Ow. There's no way to keep you jerks from talking about it, so pretend you were there.
Yeah, we're jerk. He calls you a jerk. I'm an idiot.
Keep kissing his ass.
The way he argues. Yeah.
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, suck up to him, Fred.
Suck up, Fred.
Can't be friends with me, you know? Can't be friends.
Everything is sucking up or kissing your butt.
Right.
If we're on your side,
right.
off.
It's always sucking butt. All right. I take notes.
On Jackie's side, we'd be telling the truth.
Yeah, right. You're just telling the truth.
I'm going back to the strip clubs. 11 more months.
Yeah,
you
good.
jerks. I don't need you. I don't give a flying frig what happens.
I'll be on the road.
Read my lips. I'm done.
Yeah, I was wasted, yeah.
You got to be prepared.
Yeah, I was wasted. Wasted!
Caught me by surprise.
All right. Hey, what should I do, Stuttering John?
Yeah, because I have that thing now.
Oh, good. All right.
What's this?
Well, Stuttering John went out to interview Elle McPherson yesterday.
Uh-oh. He's getting all the supermodels.
And it was another case of John yelling out questions and being 2 inches away from her, and she refused to answer.
Oh, no.
You know, that first question, you and I discussed?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you remember, but it's so funny. So John repeats it like 3 times.
Yeah. It's really good. You want to do that here or you want to take a break, Fred?
I'll take a break real fast.
What is this, Stuttering John?
There was more paparazzi there than Elizabeth Clinton was there.
Really?
Yeah, it was
well, she's gorgeous.
You didn't go to her little workshop, did you?
No. I tell you something. We were having an argument the other day. I said I could live happily with Elle Macpherson. I don't care how stupid she is. Because Fred goes, well, you know, she is supposedly the stupidest supermodel.
That's what I've heard. I
said,
met her,
who
but
cares? And what is it? Christy Brinkley is mad at Elle Macpherson?
Supposedly.
Fred knows everything about supermodels.
Apparently, Elle Macpherson...
No one else knows this.
Elle Macpherson dated Billy Joel before Christy got to her.
Right.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Christy resents her.
Wow.
It's real well now.
Fred knows everything about supermodels.
He spends the rest of his day tracking supermodels.
If Fred says it, it's a modeling fact.
Do you think that on Fred's wall there's like a big chart that looks like a stock chart where he actually tracks the model?
No need to put that on the wall. There's a big chart in his head.
It's all up here.
Big giant chart.
I mean, and he has just really strong reactions. The one time I mentioned, I finally got to know the name of the Calvin Klein model, Kate Moss.
Yeah.
Howard went off.
Fred went off.
Oh, I mean, Fred went off. Yeah, he was just nuts. He hates her.
She's been demoted from the main line from Calvin Klein. She's the
beautiful, Fred. Why do you hate Kate Moss? I don't even know anything about this controversy. Why do you hate
her? I don't like that wave.
And she shows her breasts. Fred thought that was
wrong. Did I say that?
Yeah, you were screaming at me because I think that's why she gets work, because she's willing to do that.
I didn't hate her for that. I just said that's why she gets work.
I said, how could Fred be angry at her breasts?
Did you ever see Howard?
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I know. She's angry. She's got a beautiful ass.
Like a little boy.
There you go. I'm jealous.
Maybe that's why.
Fred, do you have a hairless ass like Kate Moss?
Actually, I think she's got more hair on her ass than I do.
All right, let's take a break. We'll hear Stuttering John with Elle Macpherson, supermodel. And then I'll tell you some other funny stuff, some real funny stuff. Stay tuned.
All right.
It's the Howard Stern Show.
There is
Howard.
Stuttering John's music. The music of Stuttering John. Is that the music in your head, dude?
Yeah, it's music.
There it was. Well, it was only in your head, evidently. Couldn't transfer it to other people's heads.
Couldn't put it in other people's.
You pretty much done with that album? You going to work on a second one?
Yeah, after Christmas, I'm working.
Is Atlantic going to...
I hope so. So
they're excited about a second album?
Yeah, I'm going in to do it. I'm going in to write the songs on the 18th.
Now, do you constantly have music running through your head?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
That's why you can't hear us.
Only it was the right music. What's going through your head right now?
Oh, now it's, whenever Robin speaks, I just have to hate her.
Why do you hate her?
She's goofing on me.
She's not goofy. She has you... But everyone hates you now?
No, I don't hate her. But actually, no, I don't.
That's the shtick of everybody.
Oh, everyone's got that shtick.
Yeah.
I see.
No, I don't hate her, but...
I see.
I know she's goofing on me.
The on-air shtick, I see.
That's true.
Because off the air, I see you don't leave her side.
I know, but she don't give me any.
All right, so you went out to see Elle Macpherson, the supermodel.
Yeah. It was she was doing the learning annex like Gary did. She was doing one of those speeches, but we weren't allowed to record that, so we had to get her outside, and it was like every station was there to get her arriving.
All right, now again, I don't have the benefit of seeing this until the E! Show airs it.
Yeah.
Because I guess we had the camera there.
Yes, we did.
Is this another instance where you stand right in front of her?
No, this actually I get up to like a one-on-one capacity.
Yes.
And I ask her the question, and then you'll see, and then it's just,
maybe the first question was too strong.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you're right next to her.
I'm right next to her.
Because all she is a model. I mean, aside from looking good, what does she really do? I mean, do you think she'd be anxious to answer some questions?
And she's giving a class.
Right.
She's trying to be an actor.
All right, let's take a listen.
Yes, this was an opportunity for her to show her range.
Her workshop is between her legs. The workshop.
I don't know. Oh, I can just picture the learning annex be like 500 horny guys.
Was it?
I mean, I didn't see anything.
All right, how does she look? Good?
Yeah, she looks great.
She's a beautiful girl.
You didn't take...
Very stupid, right?
No, she didn't look.
Really?
She didn't look stupid. I mean,
how could he tell?
Compared to him.
Yeah, I mean, who are you asking? But he didn't take Basil with him this time.
No way.
No way. Because he gets hypnotized by these girls' beauty.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen in.
Hi, Al. Can I ask you a question with the XRK? Have men ever ejaculated the second they took the clothes off?
Thank you. Oh. What's going on here?
Guy slapped me right in the face.
You're kidding.
Yeah, the guy right next to her came and slapped me in the face and grabbed my mouth.
How could he do this?
And they didn't even know who I was. It wasn't even like it was, Then after
he smacked you, so you have it on film?
Yeah.
You could sue the guy.
I know. But
you can't do that.
No, it's just because he's guarding his idol, I guess. It's just
Dude, he's trying to prove. You know what it is? They read in the Inquirer how Roseanne marries the bodyguard. They think that Elle is going to fall in love, like they think they're Kevin Costner with Whitney Houston. Dopes. He smacks you in the face?
Yeah, he just he goes to grab my mouth, but it's.
He's going to grab the words out of your mouth.
Yeah, and,
you asked a perfectly legitimate question.
You're not making any threatening moves.
No, not at all.
He asked her.
That was a strong question to start.
I thought.
You think it was a little too strong?
Very strong.
I thought it was a good question. I don't know.
He didn't even get established as a reporter before he started to sound strange.
It's one of those magic words.
Yeah, maybe we got to tone you down.
Well, it's the same thing with Raquel Welch. The first question when they drew it, I knew it was going to get the worst reaction possible.
I see. Well, we have a tough decision. We never know what situation John's going to be in. So if he's only going to get one question off, you figure you ask the most interesting one. If you had known that she was going to stop and answer a few questions, we would have
been built up a little.
Of course.
But I would have taken liberty to do that. But you know what? There was so much paparazzi, and she was trying to rush downstairs that I would only had time for one anyway.
You know what's interesting about this whole thing? How is it that you can say the word paparazzi? All right, thank you.
Take your clothes off.
Excuse me.
In the back. It's not going to work. I slapped the back, too, by the way.
You slapped her back or him?
How difficult is it to hide your tampon string during swimsuit photo shot?
Now, where are you yelling
All right,
these?
now she has to walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
So all the paparazzi taking pictures. She's walking down the stairs, so I'm hanging over the stairs now.
Did she actually hear you?
Oh, what are you kidding me? She can hear. She's like 5 feet away.
Oh, okay.
Did she look at you?
Oh yeah, she looks up and and she's like totally disgusted. Like if you see her face, she's repulsed by me. Why does Christy Brinkley seem to resent you so much?
Why are you taking class? Why are you teaching?
She's teaching how to look pretty. What's the matter with you?
Oh, you're answering?
Whatever. And then a guy went in and just started asking. But she was gone after that. But Grillo told me because he was there. He said that her face was totally repulsed.
Really?
As soon as
that's how I feel about you.
As soon as I said ejaculate, she was just like.
That's it. Well, most girls feel that way about that word. Let me see the rest of the questions because they were very good, Robin. They really were.
That question was really too tough.
Think it was too tough a question? All right. If your name is L, why do you bother writing the other 3 letters?
That's good.
That's a good one. Would you ever get implants if you felt that it would get you even more work? Did you vote for Pataki or Cuomo? Does your gynecologist pay you to have the examination? Do you resent the fact that people find models to be self-centered, pampered, overpaid, empty-headed, big-breasted mannequins? How do you combat yeast infection? Ever videotape yourself making love? And there were more. But she didn't sit still for the in-depth. If she hung in there, she would have heard some good questions.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Stuttering John is a weird guy, though. I got to tell you. Listen to this. You see, a lot of people don't realize how our office runs. Stuttering John hates Gorillo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Gorillo.
And Gorillo hates Stuttering John. Tell the truth.
No, I don't hate Gorillo.
You guys don't like each other.
We argue a lot.
You argue a lot because John feels he's been here the longest, and he really feels that Robin's already enjoying this. And I'm just establishing.
I love this.
It's only getting better. Watch. Just sit back and relax. John really feels that he is the guy in charge of all the interns. King of the geeks.
He's a lieutenant commander intern.
Hero of the stupid.
Yeah, but seriously, am I right?
That's what's put on me.
No, if you ask Gorilla to do something you can't believe.
If somebody screws up, I usually get yelled at. I usually get yelled at.
Right. So you feel that Gorilla should answer to you. True?
Well,
tell the truth.
Yes. I feel that if I say something that that makes sense, then I'm sure that you would want and Gary would want. Even today, I can give you an example. you know, he should listen, but he doesn't.
Like, what happens when Gary's not here? Do you become the producer?
Yeah.
And does Grillo listen to you then?
For instance, when I was producing the show when Gary was out with Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, you were on a riff, and Grillo wanted to bring in his ideas for Jessica Hahn.
Right.
But you already had the idea you wanted about her rolling the booger in the nose. She says, she says, John, can I bring this in? I said, no, he's already got it. He's already on the subject.
Right.
So I come in here to see something about Jessica, and what does he do?
He comes running in.
and gives it on Jackie. You look up like, what's this?
Yeah, he distracts me.
Yeah, and
I get nervous. I see pieces of paper. I mean, what is he doing?
Because
he won't listen to you.
No, and you know, and then.
Well, see, in that instance, he's got to listen to John.
Oh, absolutely, but
because John is smarter than Grillo.
Constantly says to I don't know how John handles it, but he turns everybody off. Is what happens.
Yeah.
And what he usually says is, "Look, you know nothing. At one time, it was me and Gary. We ran this office by ourselves."
But that's my defense. I had no other way to. I really don't know how to say. Like even today, for example, let me explain something that happens today. Grillo sits across from me at Kathy's desk.
Right.
And he does the news. Right.
Right. So he works on Robin's news. Yes.
So Spazzle's here. Right. Does
right.
nothing. He's sitting next to Grillo. Grillo's sitting by the phone that rings. So if a number of calls comes through, Grillo's got to answer because I can't answer all of them. Right. So now, why should he be answering the phones when he could do the news at another desk? There's 5 desks in the building.
Right.
He can go do the news like every other Robin's
intern. He doesn't need to sit there.
Every other intern has done the news in Robin's office.
Right.
So now he's got to sit across from me. So now Basil can't answer the phone. So now Grillo's got to answer the phone while he's doing the news when we have Basil sitting there twiddling his thumbs.
That makes perfect sense. I understand everything John's saying. Don't stand in front of my camera. I'll kill you. Go ahead. Yeah. I live for that camera, okay? I got a mental problem. Go ahead.
I've sat in that desk for over a year and done that, and all of a sudden now...
But we never had so many interns. Now we have people sitting around twiddling that freaking thumb.
If he has a good idea,
there's no place to go. Wait a minute.
Go sit in my office.
There's a delay. There's a delay in the office. I hear in our office over here, you hear the direct.
So why don't you go in the jock lounge and do the news?
There's no table in there.
Grillo, how about Robin's office? Why do you need to hear the show direct?
Why not? It's just like...
Why does he hear the show direct?
You mean you don't want to wait 7 seconds to hear the show? You love the show that much?
Well, no. If you need something, why should I be bothered? Like if you need me to go to the store, if there's something that's needed,
all right,
I'll know where it is. Why should I hear it after the delay goes through? If you need it right away.
We'll call you if you need it right away. We have 2 people.
But what if you don't know? What if it's something
I think you have to break it to him that he's not that important.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even that I think that I'm important.
Well, there's enough guys. Isn't Richard listening to the show?
Yeah, Richard listens to the whole thing direct. If anything happens, he calls and tells us.
Right.
Any request you make, we hear the second it happens.
I think Grillo wants to be around. You've gone on record as saying that you feel Grillo wants to be you.
Yeah, definitely. I think
I'd like to be like him. He does a good job in the office.
Right.
And he's very efficient with everything he does. So, in that respect, yeah, I would.
So you got to hear this one. So last night, for some reason, I was shocked to find out that Grillo spent the night at John's apartment.
See, the other thing, outside the office, me and Grillo hang out and have a great time.
Oh.
Outside the office.
So what happened? You two got drunk last night, and
what happened?
And John. Now this is the lowest of all. You're gonna freak when you hear this. He taped you being drunk.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, but come on, it was just for fun. It isn't that he said anything harmful to anybody.
Sure he did. He was bad-mouthing games.
I wasn't bad-mouthing. I was kidding around.
Well, you weren't kidding around.
Well, I said good things about him.
No, you didn't. You were so drunk, you didn't even know what you were saying. First of all, you got a drinking problem. I hope you.
I haven't gotten drunk in a week.
When you get drunk, wait till you hear him.
No, it was so funny. I was doing for the show. He was babbling and just rambling, and in a drunken stupor, I said, Howard's got to hear this. So I taped it, but now I'm in trouble for it.
All the interns fight with each other.
He asked me, what about Ganji?
Yeah, because I wanted to get you going. It's
nothing that... I was kidding around. It's not that I wouldn't.
What a pal, huh? So how do you hide a tape on him? Where do you...
He had the tape recorder on the floor.
In my room, and I just popped it on.
And you didn't know it was on?
I didn't know it was on, but it's not. It's not anything that I thought about. What were you screaming about?
Let me listen to what you said about.
I was kidding. I was kidding around.
Well, let's see if you were kidding. Let's see. Let me hear this.
What's that? That I ain't gay. What is his problem, I think it's whatever they've been saying, man. That dude, his whole life, parents like, don't worry, Michael, we'll take care of you. So he's just like, real, like spread out nice and easy. So he used that and around his way, he's fast.
So you're saying it's very hard to understand. The taping is terrible. But
what is that music they're listening to?
I don't know.
Be proud.
It sounded like a NAMBLA meeting. What are you saying? What is he saying? Did you understand
yes,
any of that?
I did.
I said that. He goes, what do you think? I said, you know, you guys always say your dad took care of you. You know, you had it easy. So that's what I said.
So the rap on Ganji is that he's lazy because his dad takes care of him.
And he's raised like veal. And that's why he's fat. That's what he said.
Should I play on here?
Yeah, he just goes off on Gator. That was.
That's because he stopped playing football. That was the only thing that kept him skinny for a while. He had to lose the weight. He wasn't even in regular football. He had some doofus league.
Yeah, Ganji's always going on how he played football. He played football with his friends. Ganji, what is that football you played?
Johnny Mac.
Yeah, what is that?
It was Pop Warner.
What's Pop Warner?
It's a city league.
City League?
City League.
It's for guys who can't make it into the high school team.
No,
like they have to take you because you get paid.
Because you pay them.
Just move the mic over, you guys. Can't you see there's a camera there?
The girl's bumping me out of the way.
Stupid. God.
Yeah, none of you really should be goofing on each other.
So what is it, Gorilla? You were making fun of Ganji because he never had to work a day in his life?
No, it's not that he never worked, but that's what I was kidding about. Wait, what about did you take any of the good stuff that I said?
About Ganji?
Yeah. Was there any good stuff? Yeah, there was. What did I say? He deserved the job that he has right now, and that I think he's doing a pretty good job.
What, holding up a camera?
Well, but I said he deserved it. He goes, he's trying to get me to say, do you think you could do Ganji's job? I said, Ganji deserved his job.
No, I mean, the quality of the tape was really bad, but I think what you said is that Ganji, Joe goes, what do you think of Ganji working for E? And he goes, he sits in the back doing nothing. He's probably hanging himself.
No, when he was back there on the computer. He used to sit back and do nothing. I said, I felt bad for him when he was back there.
All right, very good. What kind of football did you play, Ganji?
It was Pop Warner.
What is that?
City Conference League.
Were you shirts or skins?
What is that? I was fat, so whatever skins.
Did you wear a good helmet and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Full contact, full pads.
But they say he paid to play.
Did you pay to play?
No.
What?
You know, I don't remember.
What do you mean you have to pay to play in the league?
You know what? I really don't remember. No, seriously, I don't remember.
He told me he was playing football today. He's pretty so good.
You have to pay. It's not a school. You definitely pay. There's no doubt about it.
So what do? You tape Gorilla and he gets drunk and he makes fun of Ganji?
Well, look, he was so drunk and he was babbling that I just thought it would be funny because he was just like, he just non-stop. I was laughing. He's like doing like a monologue.
All right, well, this is what goes on back there.
Yeah, I like to know that my friends are badmouth me behind my back.
Well, now you know it. There's evidence. Said you're fat and a meal. Yeah, what do you mean you bad mouth? I'm sure you did.
I don't think I was the one. A little better.
What's a bit of tape?
Poor America.
We're going to leave it in their hands.
It's very sad. All right, very good, boys. Go back there and see who's going to answer the phone at what desk. Very nice.
Continue the infighting.
Yeah, continue the infighting. We're going to be back right after these words with more. And we're going to get to some of your phone calls. That's what we got to do next, right after these words.
It's the Howard Stern Show.
I love that. Jackie New Ray Joke Page Martling to order Jackie's 78-minute CD or cassette. It's $10 plus $3 shipping and handling. There's a holiday special as well. Buy two, get one free. Call 1-800-323-KING. And tomorrow night, the wildest night of the year at Rascals Comedy Club as Jackie and Jake Thomas. Jake Thomas on keyboards. For jokes and info, call 516-922-WINE. Remember, 516-922-WINE is not a pay service. That's tomorrow night. Begin your Thanksgiving with...
ago about the reports we were getting that he was bad-mouthing you.
Right. I didn't believe the reports because, after all, Pat's my friend. I mean, who else gets an open invitation? I think Pat like a father. Right. I think it's Pat like a father. All right, grandfather. Whatever. And I said, I can't believe Pat's going around town bad-mouthing me. And Pat's out in the hall going nuts. And you know how you know it's real? Because he's been calling Gary all week screaming at him.
No, he called me right after it happened. Right after we had him on the air like 2 weeks ago. He called me.
I just want to clear the air.
And the next day, and he was really upset.
He doesn't understand.
Get him in here.
Just trying to clear the air.
I'm just trying to clear the air.
I remember the phone calls. He was belligerent then, thinking that we were somehow setting him up and believing these other guys.
No, the only reason I believed these other guys was that the calls were coming in separate. In other words, it was like, uh-oh.
No, it's 2 seconds.
Is he going to be all right?
I don't know.
There's been some discussion that Pat's going to, like, come in here and beat me up.
Tom said to me in the hall I should...
Pat, are you going to beat me up?
If I'm on trial, I told him, forget me.
Uh-oh.
Because it's wrong. You understand? I'm your friend, and I don't want to hear no three idiots turn around and tell you...
Sit down. No, you're blocking my camera.
I don't care about
Come on, seriously, sit down. You're blocking my camera.
Don't be a part-time friend.
No.
You be 100% friend to me.
Now,
I'd have put myself... I'd have threw myself on him. I'd have threw myself on the phone for you. No, you're out of line.
No, you're out of line.
No, you're out of line because
you
turn around, don't call me for 3 months, then you get 3 skivoses who call up and say, that group of bad.
Now, there's where you're wrong.
No,
I didn't call you for 3 months because you were the only guest who has an open invitation.
You had a hook. Don't give me that. You're looking for a hook to get me riled up. You got me riled up. I've been riled up since that time you called me.
Listen, can I ask you a question?
Call me as Pat Cooper.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't want you to ask me nothing.
Listen, this is interesting. This is entertainment.
I am a genius of myself.
Right.
None of you.
Right.
None of you.
You are a genius. I'm your biggest fan.
I will not allow you or anyone to take my dignity or my pride away. My father couldn't do it. My father couldn't do it, and not send you a stranger next to my mother. Father can't do it. And I'm sick of this crap because you know something?
What?
You got to be in A company. Don't put me in B company. Don't tell me Sam Kinison is your idol, or Sam Kinnison's brother turns around and says, I didn't pay much. I know you didn't because you're Sam Kinnison's brother, a drug addict's brother.
All right, now listen to me. Listen to me.
Now wait. I didn't finish.
No.
I didn't finish.
Am I going to
idolize a drug addict over me? How dare you do that to me?
What do you say? I can't...
you idolize
You feel I idolize Sam Kinison?
What do you tell your children? What do you tell your back off? What do you tell your children?
You're going to allow me to talk?
No, I want to finish my conversation.
What? I should idolize Pat Cooper?
You turned around and you had a drug addict for your idol.
Now, hold it a second.
What does that tell your children?
I will go to my grave telling my children that Sam Kinison was a great comedian. Whether he's a drug addict isn't the issue.
Oh, yes, it is the issue.
Why is that an issue?
Because he was a great comedian when he was on dope.
Oh, that's not true. That's insulting. Don't insult Sam Kinison like that.
Yeah.
You saying to me that Sam Kinison was not a great comedian?
I'm not saying that, but
you told him when he was alive. Now you're telling me. Now you're being a fake.
I'm medication.
Now you're telling me you're fake.
I'm medication.
I'm
medication.
Now you're telling me you're a fake.
My soul, baby.
Now you exposed yourself.
My soul, pal.
You exposed yourself.
I don't expose nothing. I expose my soul because my problem is
you told Sam Kinison when he was alive that he was a great comedian.
I never. Hey. You said Jackie Mason was the greatest.
He is great.
I was the greatest. Everybody's the greatest.
No.
I hate her. I wanted to die. Now you're Perez.
You are jealous. You're going to tell me when Sam Kinison was alive, you went around talking about that Sam Kinison was a great comedian. Now that the man's going to pee on his grave? That's wrong. Now you got to take it. Now you got to take it. Now you got to take it.
Now you got to take it.
The guy's in the ground. You're going to say he's sucks now? That he was only funny when he was on medication?
He's dead, not me.
Don't be giving me like that.
Yeah. He's dead now.
And
he deserves to die because he had it.
Why?
He used a car accident.
The man had a car accident.
And
what does that have to do with him being a great comedian? Was he a great comedian? Was he a great comedian? Was Sam Kinison a great comedian?
No.
No? You're going to say that now?
That's your opinion.
After you told him when he was alive he was a great comedian?
I never met him.
Oh,
what happened, Big Mouth?
I don't believe it. What about you? Where's your Big Mouth?
I never met him.
And what's all of this?
I never met him.
After I show you respect, I tell you what a great comedian you are. I give you open invitation in this show.
Mason.
Look at the jealousy. Look at the jealousy. The jealousy.
He went back and read the book.
He went back and read the book.
Howard, can I say something to Pat?
Oh, boy, I don't believe this, what I'm hearing.
How many people...
excuse me. I don't believe this, what I'm hearing. The nerve. The nerve.
Defend my dignity?
Now, listen, let me ask you a question. Hold it a second. I'm talking now.
Tell me I can't defend my dignity.
I can't believe this.
I can't believe
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I am this crowd, baby. No more now. I'm a crowd.
Who said you're not?
You gotta call me.
Well,
I'm a contributor.
No.
I'm a contributor. Meanwhile, he tells Leno, I don't want you to be a bust on my bananas.
What?
You're busting my balls, Leno.
Listen to this.
I can't do a week. I don't know what night I'm going to be available.
I don't want to do Leno. I don't want to do the Leno show.
Because he's an A crowd. He tells Leno I have to go on first. He tells Letterman I go on first, so I don't go on.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, I see. Well, but if I do it, I'm a dog. I'm a dog if I defend my dignity. I'm a dog if I defend my life.
Robin, what is he talking? Is he making sense?
Don't bring
Sit down and let's say Robin.
Don't bring your lawyer.
You're talking to Robin, aren't you? You're looking at her. Where are you going?
No, Pat.
Where are you going?
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
Pat.
I'm not
Pat.
getting into this, Pat.
Oh, he left.
Dear.
Pat left.
Oh, dear. Oh,
He's a
dear.
genius.
Oh, dear.
He's the best.
I just hope that wasn't his last appearance.
It could be. We could have lost him.
Because I heard what he was saying. What he did was he went back to the book and got himself all riled
Worked up.
with everything you
Let me
had
tell you
said.
what's going on with Pat.
No, wait a minute. Because there are a couple of points he made there that were so garbled,
Yes.
nobody would understand what he was saying.
Yes.
He wasn't really talking about Sam Kinison.
Right.
What he said was you said Sam Kinison was great and you forgave his brother
Right.
when you heard he was bad-mouthing you because it was Sam Kinison's brother, but you don't give
Let me
all
tell you
the
what's going on.
chance.
Pat, this is what happened with his family.
Yes.
You can't do enough. I sat with Pat time and time again. Well, I didn't hear him on a lot of radio shows. I would have Pat on the... He left? He's gone. What is his story?
I'm telling you, he's hurt.
Howard, jokes aside, I've never seen a grown man that upset. In every way.
Let me tell you something.
You know what it is? It really is about these e-cameras and not being cool. That's what I'm an A person. If you say all this stuff about yourself because you're an A person, don't treat me like a B person and say, oh, you come in whenever you want. Call me and tell me you want me.
Well, forget it.
You don't call me for 3 minutes.
There is nothing you can... I didn't call anybody.
I know that.
And
Pat is on a loop.
Pat's on a loop. I can't think of anybody who has been kinder and more impressed with the talents of Pat Cooper than me.
Before any of those other shows were calling Pat, he had an open door here.
Excuse me, let me talk now. I cannot get on the air day in and day out and kiss Pat Cooper's ass. Whenever he is here, I've called him a million great things. I've only been impressed by the talents of Pat Cooper. There is nobody more impressed with Pat Cooper. If you ask my parents after Pat Cooper's on, we sit there and we discuss everything Pat Cooper said and did. I cannot think of anybody in this business. Listen, I'm hot as a pistol right now, and I always pay homage to the great Pat Cooper. I sit here day in and day out. I don't listen. Every day I don't bring up Pat Cooper, but when he is here and he wants to come do my show, I tell Gary, you tell Pat he has an open invitation. If he's doing a club, if he's doing anything, express to him that I would like him to come on this program.
We've never said no to him.
I can't imagine. And there are people who are regulars on the show that I say no to. I tell you, you know what? You've been on too much lately. Why don't you take a rest for a while because the audience will get sick of you. Give it a break. And I have, from time and time again, since the beginning of this show, Robin, you know it as long as you've been working with me, I have only, with one guest, said, Pat, come in any time that you want.
But now he's upset about that because he feels he has to have something to plug before
I never thought in my life I would be subject to the antagonism that I just saw because I said to a guy, please come on whenever you want. That shows to me that the man does not have logic.
Howard, can I just point something out?
There is no logic.
Can I just point something out that I wanted to say to Pat? Pat seems to be obsessed with this. You said Jackie Mason was a genius in the book.
Jackie Mason is a genius.
And there's room for a lot of geniuses, but I wanted to point out, how many times has Jackie Mason been on the show?
Once.
How many times has Pat been on the show? 50? 75?
Excuse me. And you know how many times Jackie Mason has called here since we had him on to come back on and I've said no?
Right, because you like to space things out.
Pat is... Forget space out. Pat is a great guest. Pat knows how to work this radio program. I'm not silent about it. I'm the first. Listen, you think Letterman started having Pat Cooper on because of what? Out of the clear blue?
Well,
I know what Letterman's shtick is. This is a big audition for the Letterman show.
Pat couldn't get on the show.
I refuse to be insulted by Pat Cooper because now I'm hurt. Now, when I sit and listen to a tirade against me, someone who's been a big supporter, look, I got ratings before Pat Cooper. I'll get ratings after Pat Cooper. The point is, I like Pat a lot. I think Pat's hysterically funny, as we just heard. I mean, that was a brilliant performance. But there is nothing I can do to please the guy. As a matter of fact, I got to tell you something. So all of these people called. Listen, this is what happened. Let me tell people what happened. Gary's sitting back in the office, and a couple of months ago, weeks ago, he receives a call that Pat, some fan said Pat was bad-mouthing me somewhere because I haven't had him on in a while. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, you didn't react to the first phone call.
No, I didn't. Then a couple of weeks later, Gary got a call from some other individual who said, hey, I ran into Pat in the village. Pat's a New Yorker. You know, he lives in Vegas sometimes, but he's in New York a lot. So I thought it was really funny that Pat was going around bad-mouthing me, but that's Pat. I didn't ban him from the show or anything, so I said, hey, let's call Pat and have him, So Pat was yelling at them, and I thought it was really great radio. So today we had all the people lined up to come in and face Pat, and let's have it.
Uh-oh.
It would have been great radio, and it would have been great for Pat.
He's not on trial.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be part of a trial. He doesn't want to get into the fun of it.
And look, can I point out something else? Because Pat was ranting about something that was hard to understand and hear that we discussed off the air quite a bit.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
About a day or two after Pat, we had this thing on the air with Pat, a listener called in one morning at about 7 o'clock and said, hey, Bill Kinnison's got a radio show in some place in California. He's bad-mouthing you.
Yeah.
And you said...
I said, wait till I hear the tape.
I wait till I hear the tape, but I'm sure Bill wasn't bad-mouthing me because Bill's a good friend. And then that's what set Pat off to call me again, because he said, wait a minute.
So I heard the tape.
How come?
I heard the tape, and Bill was nothing but complimentary.
Yeah.
But this was even before Howard heard the tape, and Pat's whole beef was, wait a minute. I've been a friend to you guys forever, and I'm on trial, and somebody calls up and says, Bill did this, and right away, oh, no problem.
Right. I explained that he was saying that Bill got a
No,
bye
it was a
because
different.
it was Sam Kinnison's brother.
Wrong. It's a different situation. Bill Kinnison was on tape. All I had to do was hear the tape, which I did, and I wasn't insulted by it at all.
But Pat wasn't waiting for that. He simply reacted when he heard you were going to listen to the
Howard,
tape.
because guys, this thing goes back even further. Pat's biggest regret before was that you didn't invite him on your E-interview show.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that you know what?
And now you want him during sweeps.
No. Oh, now I want him during sweeps.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He's all
He's really paranoid.
I tried to explain there isn't sweeps on the I don't know if there is, but I said there wasn't.
Pat's going insane.
So just so you know,
I tried to talk to him, but he just wouldn't talk like a normal person.
I left him at the elevator. Did you get in the elevator with him?
I have never seen another human being that angry. He was so angry, and he was getting on the elevator.
But over what?
I didn't say over anything.
Yeah.
But we were trying to talk to him and trying to calm him down, and
it made it worse.
Always
get my father on the phone. Get my father on the phone.
And he said to me, Jackie, don't give me any of the crap. He wouldn't listen to me either, and he got on the elevator, and I think we were all actually... I didn't get on the elevator with him. He was still kind of talking, and I just, watched the doors shut because I don't know if I was scared or whether I didn't want him in space, but he got in the elevator, and then we thought about it and thought we should chase him. And when we went down the elevator, he was gone. Nobody out there knew which way he went. Well,
he's like Superman.
He's here with another guy, and the guy said he left his papers here and his stuff here.
I was scared he was going to come here and start beating up people in here.
Yeah, I know. There was discussion about whether you weren't in on this, Robin, but there was discussion on whether Pat was so angry that he was going to come in and beat people up, namely me.
But the one thing I can say, I was getting, I've been working kind of hard and I was pretty tired, but Pat got me up.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's why I love Pat, though.
When he came in, didn't you think he'd calm down a slight amount? Didn't you think at one point he was going to sit down and start talking?
No.
He just
He never even put on the headphones.
No.
He didn't.
No.
Yeah, he didn't sit down. He didn't put on the headphones.
He sat down for about a second.
It did he?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
All I know is that he did not want an interchange.
My parents are around?
Your parents' line is busy.
Oh, too bad.
They're upset with you, too, now.
Yeah, no, they're upset because they love Pat.
He's here with somebody,
Oh, where's
that guy
Pat's friend?
still here?
Yeah, he's
Bring in Pat's friend.
Well, Pat's friend, I think, might have helped get him a little riled up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know how people work on you.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
that was the situation here.
So what are you going to do with all those people who came down to confront Pat?
I'm going to apologize to him and send him home. Well, a couple of them were pretty scared to be here. One guy...
Maybe it's better they weren't near Pat.
One guy said that he thought that Pat was connected and he was afraid of Pat. He wanted us to block him out on the E-show. Here, have a seat. What's your name?
Hey, how you doing?
Roger Watkins.
Roger, now how do you know Pat?
Pat had read a screenplay of mine and wanted me to write a comedy show for him, but he considered it too sick and demented for him.
Maybe I'll do it.
But he thought you might like it, so that's why I was here today.
Oh, you
Is that
ready to meet?
right?
So, it was really weird because,
How well do you know Pat, first of all?
Yeah.
How well do I?
There's Robin.
Peripherally, I've been with him on a few, engagements. And
Okay.
Pretty well,
Anyway, the point is that, you see, there's no talking to Pat. And you know what? Do you understand his point? I don't. I don't get it.
Yeah, could you explain it to us?
We're just trying to get to the truth. If Pat's going around, listen, I bet you Pat might have said a few bad things about me here and there.
Not to me.
No, not to you. But I'm saying, he might have. You know how he gets, because I've seen him get angry over stuff that I don't even know what he's talking about.
I've seen Pat. We've had him in here a million times, and he has grievances with people that make no sense whatsoever.
I know.
I was waiting for Pat this morning, and these 3 or 4 guys came in and said they were here to be on your show. Something weird happened.
Right.
Then they asked me who I was with. I said, I'm waiting for Pat. So they said, oh, you're going to like this or something. And that was it.
Right.
So then Pat came in, and I said, 3 guys were here. They're going to talk about you or something. And
you're the one who blew it.
You got him nuts.
Oh,
Jesus. Gary, why did you put Pat's friend in with the 3 people who were here to talk about Pat?
Of course we would separate them.
Oh, Jesus. So it's Gary again. It's Bob Fuhai.
Of course.
Ruining my show.
No, not at all. Those guys told me they were here, but they didn't.
But they shouldn't have been around you.
Had them with you.
Well, there was no way to get in this morning.
Oh, Gary, you moron.
No, it really wasn't Gary's fault.
So
and they didn't say they were
stupid.
going to say anything bad.
Yeah, if you had said, I would have positioned it to Pat where he would have had a choice whether to talk to the people or not. I would have made it good. Oh, no wonder Pat's all upset.
Yeah, he thinks you were going to ambush him.
This guy was in the room with the 3 people.
Well, he shouldn't have been, but wait a second. Howard, hold on a second.
Sequester.
Howard, listen, you got to listen.
What happened?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm in here during the show. Gorilla greets the guests when I'm not here. I pulled him to the side, told him exactly what was going on. This gentleman was in the front area, and Gorilla was to wait for those people and put them in the back, which is exactly where he put them. So how were you in the same room? What room were you in?
Next to the elevators.
In the lobby.
In the lobby. Yeah, in the lobby.
But that wasn't Gary's fault, no.
No, whose fault is it then?
I don't think it was.
It's Gorilla. He's going to pass the mic to Gorilla and
Howard,
intern?
wait a second. Pat Cooper never comes with anybody.
What's that got to do with anything, Gary?
Well, when was the last time? Who would be waiting for somebody? How would you wait to sequester someone away from Pat when Pat never comes with anybody?
Pat could have wound up in the elevator with those guys.
Yeah, but I had them come a half an hour early, Robin. We only have one way in. There's one way in here. If you tell everyone to be here at 8 and you tell Pat to be here at 8:30, what more can you do?
So this guy goes ahead. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Roger Watkins.
Roger Watkins. Roger goes ahead and tells Pat.
Right, but there's no way around it.
And of course, it would have been done. It would have been done good with me and Pat on the air. So when you told Pat, he went ballistic.
No, but I didn't tell Pat anything. I just said there was 3 guys here, and he seemed to know who they were.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He was probably on the lookout for it. But really, Robin, I can only schedule them as much apart. There's nothing else you can do unless we get a tunnel up the back way.
I don't know.
Well, I could think of a few ways.
Well, of course you can, because it's hindsight, and that's when you have your best vision.
I know Pat well enough that he loses his temper. He got mad at some guy.
I'm with you on this one, Gary. I think you got it right this time.
We were supposed to shoot some footage in Pennsylvania. He got mad at a guy down there. And said, I'll never be back. I'll never be back.
He was mad down there, too.
He was right back. So
I see.
I don't think he means this stuff. Really.
Can we call? Will Pat go straight home, or?
I have no. I don't know. I suspect he might be, just walking around the street corner.
All right. Well, anyway, listen, Roger. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And
and I left the material out there with John for you.
Thank you.
I knew Pat. I saw what was going to happen, so I just left it with John.
Next break, I'll run down there and see if he's outside the
milling
building.
around.
I think the relationship's over. I think he's given us the kiss off.
No, that's not true. Believe me, I've seen him give lots of people the kiss off, and the relationship starts 24 hours later. So.
And then he tells me that Sam Kinison. I don't even know what he was talking about.
I tell you what.
How can you insult the great Sam Kinison like that?
He has had. Well, we've had that discussion with him before. He was very upset with Sam Kinison the time he missed the Joan Rivers show.
Right.
Because he was drunk or whatever.
And what was this? I won't do Jay Leno, so then he's pissed off about that?
That's right, because you have this attitude about yourself. Don't you treat him like a B person?
I don't know what he's talking about.
You treat him like an A person.
Excuse me. Didn't I treat him like an A person? Did I say to him, anytime you want to come on... Excuse me.
Always treated him
Roger,
like an
you're in
A
show
person.
business. Oh, you're trying to get in. Peripherally.
I was.
What are you,
If I said to you... Let me ask you, what do you do, Roger?
I write and direct films. I've done a few.
Oh, yeah?
Perhaps you've seen them.
Which ones?
I guess the biggest one was called, the 2 biggest ones called The Fun House. These are low-budget horror films.
I saw The Fun House with the evil clowns and stuff.
No, that was The Fun House. Mine was Fun House.
Oh, figures.
Always hitting those 2
There you go.
This is a horrible film, but I made it for nothing when I was still in college. It was called Last House on N Street.
Oh, yeah?
And then I wrote a screenplay.
What a resume. Everything he tells me you did was terrible.
Go ahead.
Are you making a living?
Screenplay for Harry Nilsson.
Right.
That he took upon himself to put in Variety that he wrote, which was kind of impossible since I had copyrighted it. He and Terry Southern, that born collaborator.
Yes.
And then Harry dropped, so that's probably never going to be done. So
you haven't gotten the breaks. Hey, but here's the point. If I said to you,
yes,
hey, man, anytime you want to come on this show, the door is open. You just call and come in. Anytime you want to promote something or just want to come in, just call us and we'll have you on. Would you say that's treating someone like an A guest?
I would say it's treating someone like a AAA guest.
Yeah. I mean, Leno and Letterman don't say that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
No one says that to me. Oh, I heard some yelling.
Yeah, what's
oh, no.
on?
If that's Pat, you cover me. Is that him, Jackie? Oh, good.
Everybody's yelling.
You don't think Pat's connected, do you?
To the mob, that is, Roger.
Which mob?
He's not going to get me or something, is he? Okay.
Is he going out to arrange
Wait a
something?
minute. I tried my best with the guy. I mean, I don't know.
He did give me a book on the way in, though. That was...
All right. Oh. Did he really? Mafia book? Let me see that. What is that book?
What is that?
No, actually, I found that.
It says Mafia by Fred Cook.
Oh, no. He said, give this to Howard if he bothers me.
Oh, I see. Wow.
No, actually, I found that on the subway.
Oh, okay. True. All right. At least Pat didn't give it to you. But you would say that that's treating a human being about as nice as you can treat him, right?
I would, yes.
That's just showing the ultimate respect in show business, isn't it?
I would think so, yes. A man of your caliber, yes.
Right. I mean, I've got a show that's hot, people listen to. You would have to say that certainly no one has extended a loving hand more than me.
Except perhaps Joe Franklin.
If Pat was as hot as I was in show business and he said to me, come on any time, you would say, hey, that's a nice guy.
Yeah. And you give him a whole rebirth to his career, and he always admits that.
Yes.
All of a sudden he's packing clubs, he's got the whole young audience, he's got Letterman.
What more can you do for a guy? You can't win with him.
But he's acknowledged that.
Yeah. So a couple of people called up and said he badmouthed me. So, hey, let's go with it. Let's find out if he badmouthed me.
Can't understand that because Pat is always ready to go toe-to-toe with anybody.
And because maybe there's some truth in what they had to say. And also, let me say something. The point is, when he comes in here and he gets off the topic and then he starts to hurl some things, you see the anger that he has toward me.
Yes.
I never said a bad word about Pat Cooper. You heard the bad things he said about me. You heard him.
There's a lot going on under there. He's feeling like you're
Kinnison
offending.
and drug, and now you're going to get it. You give it out, you're going to get it.
Well, see, that's not, Kinnison, these are all excuses for you better treat me better.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
I'm not so impressed with you.
Yep. Well, okay. Hey, listen, what can I do? I thought I acted.
What is that? You say this one's great and that one's
thought
great.
I acted honorably.
Tell your children this and that.
Yeah, what do you tell your children? What do you tell your children? What do you tell your children? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Why the anger? Why the anger?
I have to tell you, that room of people,
that was
supposed to come on. They're all here.
They're not him?
When I opened up the door, Howard, it looked like Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
They had the door shut.
Yeah.
They were all huddled like they were waiting for Hitler.
Right.
Because they're all frightened.
Right.
Because they're listening on the radio. And
maybe you ought to bring him in. I ought to calm him down.
Yeah.
All right, bring him in real quick. I'll calm him down.
I'm just worried about Pat.
What was it? What happened is a lot of people ran into Pat on the street over the course of months. We kept getting calls from various people saying, hey, Pat was out on town. We asked him.
Yeah,
hey.
and it was always different locations. It wasn't even like these three people were in the same place.
So I said, hey, this is kind of funny. Pat might be a little pissed off or something. We haven't called him, but he knows he can come in any time. So when I called Pat, I said, hey, how come you going around town bad-mouthing me? He got all confrontational. That's when it started. So we brought the people in, so it would be a bit and everything, but...
A Thanksgiving bit.
Yeah, something fun, something to riff off of.
Yeah, well...
I mean, he could defend himself. He's a big boy.
You saw him. He's perfectly capable of speaking.
Hey, you got a lot of listeners out there. Maybe somebody saw him. Maybe we could find out where he is.
So here's the various people that ran into Pat, and I thought I'd bring them in and they could mix it up with Pat.
Maybe I should give up my seat at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
this is the guy that started it all. This is not started it all, but this is the guy that met Pat in the post office.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Maybe it's better you didn't get to see Pat.
Yeah, at the rate he was going.
Yeah, I thought it would have been fun, but I don't know.
I don't think Pat was in the mood.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, you guys, cover your face. I'm covering mine.
I wasn't exactly gung-ho to do it, but I said, I just got back from my honeymoon and said, what the hell?
Yeah, right.
And told the story.
Hey, so
but
Pat,
absolutely, I mean...
what's the big deal? So Pat was hurt. He could have said, hey, I bad-mouthed you a little bit.
As far as what happened, as far as what I had said, I mean...
Do any of you know each other? I mean, you guys don't... You guys don't know each other, right?
No.
And what about you? Here, come over to the microphone. This guy's all shook
Now,
up.
this is the guy, Howard. This is the guy that wanted a space like that was really scared.
Were you really? I'll stand in the shadows.
Not that I was scared. It's just,
when I had promoted my father's business, he had gotten the phone threats.
Oh, he got phone. Oh, I see. So you wanted to keep a low profile. I see.
Right. now, Howard,
who's this girl?
This girl here is, step on up. Can you just step back for a second?
Right.
She called us after the whole event. She was in the post office and saw that, and she didn't even know who Pat Cooper was.
Right.
Well, I really didn't know what happened. Like, it was just weird. I walked in and some guy was yelling, and I had no idea who he was, and I told my mother what happened because she listens to the show, and she heard him call. And so...
Maybe it's better you guys don't confront.
You know what?
Yeah,
I think you're right, Howard, that there's a grain of truth to everything.
No,
and Pat is really upset, and he didn't know what to do, I guess. So he just started attacking.
Honestly, Howard, that wasn't the first time that I've seen him in the village. I live in the village.
Right.
And I was in the post office picking up a package. And I just thought... It was funny. I mean, I walked out of there, and it was almost surreal, because I know who he is.
I thought it was funny. I thought he would have had a good time with it, but I don't know. He's like getting like completely whacked. Obviously, I wasn't upset about it.
I mean, it was almost surreal, but what happened, what set me off to call you almost, was about... And he had come to the store and asking for a copy of Booey or something, and they didn't have it, so he made a scene.
I didn't think that's a great character. I didn't even get bargained that he was going around town bad-mouthing. He was just a misunderstanding, so I thought we could have straightened it out and had a good time with him. But
and finally, Howard, these are the guys that met Pat in the meat market.
Oh yeah, how you doing, man?
All right, pretty good.
He was bad.
I never seen him before. I never knew how he looked before my friend Jay told me.
All right, so listen, it didn't work out.
Meat market.
Maybe it's better it didn't, because Pat seemed pretty on fire. What?
He was shocked by what he was saying. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, all right. It didn't work out well.
Oh, well.
Or maybe it did.
Remember, let's end this whole thing with saying we love Pat, and this was not a trial.
Yeah, I'm
a little hurt by what he said. I didn't understand the anger toward me. I thought I'd been a pretty good guy to him.
You can ask Gary when he called. I mean, I didn't want to come in here to bury the guy.
Nobody.
I think he's a funny guy, and I mean, I had just called on a whim almost. Because it was really funny. I mean,
so we would have had a good time with him, but obviously, who knows?
He doesn't have a sense of humor about this.
No, he doesn't.
I guess not.
No, I guess not.
Like Pat Cooper's family here.
Yeah, it sure is. Hey, thanks for coming in, though, you guys. Sorry you didn't get to... Well, yeah, we'll send some books. All right, All right, we'll be back right after these words. Thanks, Roger. All right.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Gary just said to me, he says, I never would have thought 2 years ago that not only wouldn't we be talking to Pat Cooper, but Richard Simmons now is mad at it. It's just like those two guys don't exist.
The old guard is
falling apart. For no fault of my own. I just bring out the worst in people. Pat was a scream today. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. And you know what? He is a little wacky, so you can't be mad at him.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. There's no reason for you to get upset because all that stuff is going on in Pat's head, and this is what happens with him all the time.
But look what's going on in his head. At least he's bold enough to tell you what's going on in his head.
Yeah, he'll let it out. He doesn't keep it a secret.
There's some wild stuff going on in Pat's head. and you go on Leno. You don't go on Leno.
You say you got to go on first.
Yeah. Oh, that drives him nuts. Like, excuse me, I'm running my career. You run yours.
That's okay?
Yeah, it's okay with me. You don't have to go on. I guess Pat wants to get on Leno,
Yeah, he would never turn down a shot, and you're saying, no, I don't want to do it, and if I do it, I have to go on first. Don't go on anytime.
The most interesting thing is when Pat says, I took that from my mother and father. Come on in, Tom. I took that from my... I didn't take that from my mother. I didn't take that from my father. Everyone's his mother and father.
Right, and they're a lot closer to me than you.
Yeah.
He said that they were trying to take away his dignity.
And now I'm trying to take away his dignity.
Because you're treating him like a B person.
I just have two things to add. I have never seen anybody that angry my entire life.
Not
Jackie,
even
and I grabbed Jackie to try and have him warn you.
Well, Jackie went out. 1 second, hold that thought. Jackie went out into the hall afterwards to, because Jackie's good at like schmoozing a guy, wrapping his arms around and said, "Come on back in." Yeah. So Jackie went out and did that move, and Pat said, "Don't hold me, Jackie." He got into the elevator.
Well, I didn't even get that close. I
didn't
get within arm's length. And
you said he was crying in the elevator?
We were about...
Crying?
Yeah.
3 body lengths away from him.
He was close to tears in here. That's the way it sounded to me, listening. I mean, he was close to tears in here, I thought.
Yeah, because no one's been better to him than me. But he seems to be mad at the people who do good for him.
I think that's a self-destructive tendency he has.
I don't know. I wanted to talk to him about it, but...
Because why get angry at you? And you didn't ban him from the show. He's just banned himself from the show.
No, I mean, it was one of the times I had sat next to one when we were doing our Comedy Riot promotions. He showed up one year to open for us, and it was terrific. And we got to pay him, and it was the night of a big prize fight, and he only did half of what his normal set was supposed to be. And to his credit, when he was done, he said, you know, I know I'm not giving you what I was supposed to give you. I got to go see this fight. You don't have to pay me.
Right. Yeah, he's a gentleman. He just, you know, it's weird logic. Do you think I was bad?
No. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody else that I've ever heard on the show who has an open door.
That's right. There is, and I think that kind of. Like even Gilbert, as funny as I think he is, Gilbert used to just come in, and I said, no, Gilbert, you just can't do that. You've got to be scheduled.
In fact, we have asked Gilbert to leave.
Yeah, we've made Gilbert.
Gilbert would be the only other one I thought that had as much access, even close access as Pat did, and he didn't have the access. And if Pat said to me, hey, Howard, I want to come on for a solid week, I would let him. I like Pat that much.
We have never said no to him.
I mean, a very entertaining, very funny guy.
Yeah. And when everyone else was saying, hey, Pat Cooper's old, Pat Cooper, hey, he's yesterday's news, I never reacted to that.
We never would have booked him.
Tom came to me. He said he didn't want Pat on my show because he wants young comedians. And I said, no. I said, Pat's funny. I don't care how old the guy is.
Don't give me that rap.
But I wanted to ask Tom, because once Sam Kinison went off on Tom, and Tom is saying that he wasn't as angry as Pat was.
Not even Pat was angry.
You're
not
kidding.
even close. And Tom really ruined Sam Kinison.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tom put Sam in
hit me with a champagne bottle.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that guy was mad at me.
Everybody, yeah. What happened was Tom was doing a commercial for the radio station.
Yeah.
And Tom came to me and he says, look, you know Sam. Would you ask him, or do you think it would be okay if we use Sam in our TV commercials? I said, I'd be thrilled, but, you know, it's all up to Sam.
Yeah,
you
Sam
approach
was
him.
Real hot. I mean, it was at his height.
Yeah, and I said, you approach him, and so Sam said, hey, it's for Howard, I'll do it. And so I suddenly got my name involved because it was for Howard he was doing it. And I don't care if he does the commercial or not. So anyway, Sam's stipulation was he wanted to be playing the guitar in the commercial. He wanted to show what a rock and roller he was, and Tom said fine.
Right, and he wanted his own director. We hired the director that he wanted.
Who did he want? Marty Kollner?
No, I forget.
Whatever. So they go there. Tom's there at the shoot, and Sam does records for 2 hours. He's playing. You know, Sam would go off and he's playing the guitar. Except they
at the beginning, but it wasn't 30 seconds of him playing. It was 5 or 10, or 8 seconds of him playing, and then the other 20 seconds
was pitch.
You know, exactly.
So Sam blew his stack because he felt he was wronged. And, of course, he was mad at me, even though I had nothing to do with it, because everyone gets mad at me.
But that was so different, Howard. He was pissed off at something. Pat was deeply, deeply angry, and not even in the same ballpark.
And who even knows why?
Oh, no.
I mean, you can't explain to me.
I can explain to you perfectly.
Oh, I can explain it to you, too, but, I mean...
I think Robin's got it on the money.
Right. I don't disagree, but I'm saying it's just...
But there's no basis in it.
There's no basis.
I agree with that as well. This situation.
All he had to do was say, hey, you could keep denying while those people accuse. So what? I mean, who cares?
All those people didn't come out of the woodwork for nothing.
Right.
I mean,
I think there was something there.
Right. Exactly.
I know.
But, boy, that was... I saw John going up to try and get him to calm down, and I thought he was going to slug John.
Yeah.
I had his picture of having to stand in the hall, leaning against the door so he couldn't get in, because I thought,
yeah, right.
That was as mad. I mean, other than Sam Kinison wanting to hit me with a champagne bottle, that was as mad as I've seen anybody.
That was the most fun.
Yeah.
That want to go down in history.
Oh, boy. You don't want that.
I told you the guy's a good guest. Hey, we got to run that on E tonight.
Oh,
why don't we preempt whatever it is what are we running tonight?
It can't be what happened today. It can be better.
Actually, what happened is they even taped Pat outside having a tantrum.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do we have that on tape?
Yes. I wondered if anybody... They did follow him down the hall even when he was leaving, and I understand he got quite obscene.
They got him
the F word.
They got him before.
Can we play any of that? Can I hear some of it? I mean, I'd like to play it in comment.
They're rolling it off right now.
Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning, darling.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I see you're carrying a book in your hand.
The infamous book.
Your memoir.
My memoir.
That's also the title, right? Cindy Lauper,
it is,
a memoir.
just in case you didn't know. It's a memoir.
All right. So I imagine right this way. I imagine
that's
there are
attractive.
lots of.
Who is the bunny?
Oh, that's Hank, the angry drunken dwarf. He's no longer with us though.
Really?
Yeah, so we leave him up there as sort of a tribute to him.
All right. But you mean he just left? He's no longer.
No, like he's deceased.
He is deceased?
About 10 years, 11 years ago.
Oh, wow, I'm so sorry.
He actually passed away right before 9/11, so his death was sort of overshadowed by everything that happened.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring so much tragedy into the...
Tragedy! It's a tragedy.
But you're looking forward to seeing Howard again? And
Well, I haven't seen him for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
My husband said to say hello, because they used to run together.
Oh, okay. And share some stories from your memoir.
My memoir. Yeah.
All
How's
right.
it going on? What's that show? American's Got Talent?
It just wrapped up. He just finished it, so he's sort of getting back to
It's going to
normal.
have new co-hosts now.
Yeah, I think Sharon's leaving and...
Mariah Carey.
Oh, that's right. Never thought I'd see those two together. Howard
It'll
and
be interesting.
to say the least. All right, Cindy, I'll let you get in the studio and talk to Howard.
Right?
All right.
Usually I'm in here with an instrument, so really throwing me off.
Just talk today.
Just talking. Wow. Okay.
All right, Cindy.
Cindy Lauper wrote a book. It's amazingly honest. I can't believe how honest it is.
Yeah, I've been reading Excerpt.
I was just saying, Cindy. Hey, Cindy.
Hey.
You look great. You look great. You're an attractive woman, I gotta say.
You're right?
You really are.
And I gotta still keep my looks, right?
Body's nice. What are you working
use
out?
a diet. I
No.
stopped eating bread. I'm allergic. I have a gluten allergy.
Don't believe it.
I've
heard that.
psoriasis, and it's killing me. So when I stopped eating the bread a little, at least it stopped a little.
Read
I
Dr.
was
John
covered from
Sarno's
here down.
book.
All right.
You got a lot going on. Didn't you have some back issues too? Back pain?
No.
You never had back pain?
No, I had, when I was writing the book, I was like hunched over the computer a lot, so my neck was killing me.
I know. I'll talk to you off the air about
Hey,
this.
you wrote a book too,
I
right?
wrote 2 books. I wrote Private Parts and Miss America.
Miss America.
Yeah, that was my second book, my follow-up, my second smash book. 2 big hits.
That's good.
I was just saying to Robin, I commend you on your honesty in this book. I
Yeah.
mean, it is remarkably honest. And, look.
You know what Oscar Wilde said, and Harvey told me this, Harvey
What did he say?
He said, feel free to be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
No, but you put your ego aside. I'll tell you why. Because you even admit your failures. And I like this about you. You talk about at one point when you were doing movies a lot, and you were in a movie called Vibes.
Yeah.
You were slated to co-star with Dan Aykroyd, who I think is brilliant.
Me too.
And you were excited about the project. Suddenly, Dan Aykroyd gets out of the project.
He hated me.
Yeah, and you admit that. Why did he hate you? You mean he met you and hated you, or he hated you?
He didn't think I was very good, and he thought I was, I don't know what he thought. He just left and said bad vibes.
Did he say to you, did he confront you and say, look, I just don't think you're up to this?
No, I tried to read with him, and it was the first time I'd never read
Right.
before with anyone.
Which is a very disturbing process.
Well, it's
difficult.
different.
Yeah.
It ain't like, you're not supposed to act. So he did this thing that I didn't understand, and I felt like...
What did he do? You're in there reading Vibes with him.
Okay, it could be anything, like Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? So
Right.
say it's Mary Had a Little Lamb, his fleece was white as snow, is everywhere,
Right. Blowing it off.
Because I didn't realize, but that is a process. I just thought he hated me. I was like, okay, I guess I have to just keep reading. I went and did a screen test first, with Ron Howard, to make sure I didn't look like a complete idiot. I said, if I look like an idiot, I don't think I'm up for this.
Right.
And then I did it, and he said, oh, it's great, you have something. When Ron Howard says that to you, you believe him.
If Ron Howard says to you, I'm going to put money into a film, millions of dollars, and you've got it, that you believe that, of course, but yet you didn't believe in yourself. And when you met Aykroyd, I feel like you kind of lost confidence.
Well, I was a little heartbroken that he, then I stayed on the project. You know, I felt like the bad egg.
And they brought in Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and they brought Peter Falk in because I begged them to bring Peter Falk in. I even had
Great
my
actor.
hair, but more than that, you know, the rhythm of his speech is like mine. And so I thought that would look great, and originally I was going to have pink hair, but I fell asleep with the bleach on because I was really tired, and I woke up and it was really light, and I didn't put any more tone or anything on it because I figured, hey, all right, it's the wrong color, but hair is more important than none. So I went with it, and then with the two of them had black hair and my hair was light, I thought, well, it's very iconic classic comedy, you know, like Gene Harlow
Lucy.
had that. No, Lucy had
The red.
Yeah, she had red.
Well, so all this thought goes into it, but bottom line is, you write in the book, and this is why I like the book, you're honest and you say you hated Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't hate him. I had a problem. I thought he was having going through something, probably.
He was odd.
He was odd, but to the point where, look, you know, honestly, no matter who you are, I know you got issues and problems. Everybody got them, you know, but
Sure.
Don't stand next to me and make an old person really upset, or a kid, or a mother with a kid, because after that, you're dead.
So in other words, you're alluding to he would yell at people on the set?
No, he didn't yell. He would take a book
right,
and read the book like he was having a nervous breakdown, which I understand. That's a process.
Okay.
I get it. But you know what? Don't stand right next to me when they have me standing for the light and you got to go have a nervous breakdown.
It's disconcerting to all the other actors.
Well, yeah, and you can't.
Rude.
And what happened was the older guy kept forgetting his lines. So it was in the rotunda. You know, probably write me a letter like cease and desist. But hey, with Sandy, I don't care. You
Right,
know,
I
take
know
your
you
best shot. Everybody else did. So, you know, I'm standing in the rotunda, and there's this older fellow, and he's supposed to be our boss, and Jeff is having the nervous breakdown routine next to us. So I
Right.
said to him, look, pal, not for nothing. I could notice here that this is you're doing your little method thing. I said, which is fine and good. But why don't you take a walk? Because I asked the guy right in front of me, I said, do you find this disconcerting? And he said, yes. And I looked at him and I said, look, you know, you do your thing, take a walk, and then come back. If you don't, I'm going to have to kill you, and it's not going to be a murder mystery because I'll kill you right here in front of everybody.
So the whole thing went
Well,
kablooey.
he always... Well, I thought that was funny, too, but he was always... you know, and what are you going to do?
So there was no love lost there.
I don't care if you don't like me. Who
Yeah, but on a
cares?
movie, you
It
do
sucks.
care.
It hurt my feelings no matter what. I knew that if he knew what I was going to do, he'd do little crappy things to me all the time. So I was like, yeah, check this out, my friend. Though I walk through the valley, you ever see this T-shirt? Though I walk through the valley of death, I fear no evil, because I'm the meanest son of a bitch in the valley, okay? How do you like that? Because where I come from, we're really mean.
I understand you better now because of this book. I mean, I knew you had struggled as an artist and you had rough years, but I didn't know
tough childhood.
I didn't know how tough, and now kind of to read it all in one book, the truth comes out. I mean, you had a miserable, miserable childhood. I mean,
It wasn't. There was comedy.
yeah, but sure. I mean, there are moments, but for the most part,
My mother was terrific, though.
your father left.
Yeah,
How old were you when your father left?
5.
5 years old. He splits. Your mother remarries. Maybe a crazy person. So crazy, he's a pedophile, you say in the book.
Well, you see, you're not supposed to say that, and she didn't want to go to the police. You got to understand those times. Even when they had fights and the neighbors got fed up and they called the cops would come, look at all of us, and go on their walkie-talkie and go, domestic violence.
How many kids are in your family?
Just me, my sister, and my brother.
Okay.
And then there was the dog that he tortured, too. It was like...
I mean, but when you talk about home life, a guy comes into the home. You say he would spy on you. You would be going to the bathroom or in the, well, what do you mean? Whatever. It's in the book.
It's in the book. Read the book.
No, but I'm interviewing you about
Okay.
your life.
Oh, okay.
It's horrible.
Well, it was tough.
The man would drill a hole in a bathroom.
He didn't. He had a fight with my mother, and he threw her against the bathroom door.
Oh.
And her wedding ring, which I remember when she first got married, she said to me, she showed me her ring and a dress, and I said, Ma, it's not gold. She said, it's platinum. It won't wear out. And
she had high hopes.
Yeah, and then with that same ring, he had fight with her and threw her into the door, and the ring hit the frosted glass window, and it left a crack and a little hole, and that was the hole he would look through.
And you were aware of this?
Well, you have to be careful. Yeah, look, I knew what was going on. I knew this,
So he spied on you, he spied on your brother, and he spied on your sister.
Not my brother. I don't know. My brother was a boy. He didn't say that kind of stuff to my mother, too. He said, the whole threat was he had power and she had none. He would beat up her parents and rape her daughters. And
he would say that?
Yeah, and then
he would threaten your mother?
Yeah, and if she tried to go to court, he'd drag us on the witness stand and make it look like we were asking for it.
Oh, my God. So you had to go testify at...
We never did. She never did. That's how she lived. She never did anything. And then I finally left that day, and my brother...
You left home?
Yeah, my brother, poor Butch, he stayed, and then he learned to get really tough, and when he got big and tough enough, he came home and told him to take a hike. And the funny thing about bullies only like to bully people smaller and with less physical power or power.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're really cowards, yeah.
Yeah, well, they've probably been beaten up in life, too. I mean, it's a whole cycle.
It's a chain. It's called the product of misery. It goes on and on, yeah.
So do you ever say to your mother at some point, wow, how did you not protect us from this fucking lunatic?
No, she did. She used to fight with him. She used to tell us to go in and lock our door. You got to understand, she didn't have her father working for her or any of the relatives working for her. They knew what was going on. Nobody was helping her.
Right.
And she was working 14 hours a day.
So I guess anybody being there for her was better than nothing.
Well, there was hardly. And, my aunt had her struggles. And, let me tell you, when everybody talks about that 47%?
Yes.
Well, fuck them, because they don't know what it's like to be that.
It wasn't that your mother was poor because she decided to be a freeloader or something.
She was
just having a hard She was having a hard time making it in life.
And she worked hard. And let me tell you about the 47%, Howard.
Yes.
They pay taxes. They pay payroll taxes.
Right.
And they probably pay more payroll taxes than that guy who only pays 11%, who's rich as the day is long.
You're talking about leverage buyout guys. I mean, they, that's a whole fishy business in itself.
Yeah, but you know what? Or the elderly who paid all their life. Or there's a lot of little sections of that 47% that you'd be shocked about.
It shows a naivete on his part.
No, it shows an arrogance and a lot of stupidity. But the man must be a genius, because they always get these genius people that say the most ridiculous things and say, hey, elect me, I'm retarded. No, that's not a good thing, of course.
But isn't it amazing, considering your background? You leave home at 17. And
now I'm going to start crying. No, my makeup. I got to go on CNN.
Yeah, but you leave home at 17 years old, which is a brave thing to do. And I
was packing since 14.
Right, you just couldn't wait to get out of the house.
But there was no place to go, Howard. I couldn't get anybody to hire me.
Right, you had no job, but you had to get out of the house because you're living with stepfather from hell.
Well, he was kind of a cross between Freddy Krueger and Don Rickles, because he was really funny. And then he was really scary, so you never knew when.
Do you ever
that makes it worse, because you don't know which way to go.
Do you have a tremendous trust issue with men? I mean, you say in your book at one point...
Now, I went to different therapists, Howard.
And did it help?
Yeah. One guy he whined a lot, but he was really good. And then I realized that it wasn't just him whining in my life. He'd go... Well, Cindy, and then I had another friend I worked with, rude girl, and she'd be, Cindy, Cindy. And then there was Myra that I was working with.
Yeah,
at
but
the
Cindy, when you walk in,
see, you got a little melody
Cindy,
there.
when you walk into a therapist's office, you
Yeah.
must have tremendous difficulty. I would imagine you need to work with a male therapist to get over your male issues.
No, I worked with another guy who was working on anger, and he used to have you beat pillows with a wooden samurai sword, and you had to do all this physical stuff, and then in the end, he wound up being a comedy writer for Comedy Central. See, I knew when he was having me do all this stuff, it was a little peculiar and funny, and maybe
Your life is bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
And it's bizarre in the sense, too, that I was thinking about this.
Listen, it's always a good story if you can live through it.
But there was a period of time in your life, you write in your book, that you even tried not to love men. You wanted to be a lesbian. Like you said, I'm going to will myself to be in a relationship.
That wasn't it. Why? It was because all my best friends
were gay.
Yeah, and I didn't want to lose them. I wanted to be their friend, and I wanted to be like them.
But don't you think it was like, oh, men are disgusting?
I didn't think. I wanted to be. Listen, haven't you ever grown up and have best friends, and then they do something and you want to be just like them?
Right.
But you're not.
But trying to be gay, I mean, you're not attracted to women.
Well,
I mean, you have to force yourself.
Wow, that's a really great hairdo, and that looks really fabulous. And I love the shoes. What a great.
How far did you go in trying to be a lesbian? Did you live with a woman?
No, I was 15.
Oh, I see. You were that young.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
You tried kissing, and it didn't work for you. You're into guys. And men have been a huge disappointment in your life. You even got so...
I got David Thornton.
No, I'm talking about before
guy.
David. David's a great guy, but you talk about in the book how you dated your manager for a long time, this guy.
I loved him.
You loved him.
And he loved me.
And you put him in some of your videos. I remember that.
Well, then maybe that was a big mistake for him, because then people wouldn't take him serious. It was just a way that we could be together. He was my boyfriend before he was my manager.
But when he broke up with you,
I was really depressed. Yeah.
Depressed? You tried to kill yourself. You were, you were thinking about it.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
But then, honestly, Howard, sitting there with a vodka bottle from Russia, and I took a shot because I can't really drink.
Yes, but can you believe it was so dark in your life? You have so many gifts and talent and
Howard,
good friends.
Wait a minute. It was 1988.
Yes.
Lenny had broken his leg. He wasn't in the studio. The evil Tommy Mottola took over everything. I'm sorry. Gotta say. I mean, it was like the evil empire up there.
But you're critical. You're critical of Tommy.
No, it's not. Why, you his gumbade?
No. I know Tommy, and I know him.
He's
well.
He's very nice.
But I'm going to ask you.
Unless you're in a business where it's about who's going to be the most powerful. And at that time, I also was stuck with a guy who was a bit of an alcoholic, who we were helping, and then all of a sudden he turned really weird, and I had to finish a record, and I was sick to my stomach, and my relationship with David was gone, Lenny was gone, everybody that made me famous or worked with me and helped me and
was now gone.
Gone. And now you have knucklehead Smiths up there who are going to try and make me do what Hart did and sound like Hart. So, for somebody who really wanted to own their own path, who changed the way people sounded on the radio, the way people looked, the color of everybody's hair, for them to then turn around and tell me I had to wear jeans and a T-shirt, why, you'd be depressed too.
Well, but if Tommy is trying, I'm not just picking on Tommy.
He was the same. Well, it was him hiring the people.
But yeah, I'm saying, in other words, he's got his money in you. He's got he's backing you. He wants to see you succeed. No, you feel he was against you?
I have no idea. All I know is every time I put something out, they'd say, well, there's a memo saying that we're not going to promote you.
I see.
So, it's like, okay, who's that?
Why would they
from?
do that? You mean they didn't believe in the record?
No, because there was a lot of political stuff going on. At that time, Howard, Tommy and Walter were fighting.
Walter
Yetnikoff.
Yetnikoff
He was trying to get Walter out. So I stuck up for Walter because Walter had helped me at one time. But I had helped Tommy, too. I helped Tommy get the job. I brought them over to my house.
See, but I don't understand something. If I'm a record company guy and I own a record company, I want my artists to do well.
No, they want their artists to do well.
But aren't you their artist?
Not when the guy who signed you is gone. No.
And they don't care anymore? I mean,
they
to me,
have their list. Don't you know that's how corporation? They get rid of all the people, so they put their people in, and now they want a new face. But they wouldn't let me go.
But you know what's funny to me? If I ran a record company, I'd say, I don't care who signed the artist. I got to make money with this record company so my boss doesn't get rid of me.
No.
And so I look at an artist like you.
They didn't care like that. But the Japanese did come to me at one point and say, Cindy, we believe in you. We like your music. Please make a record. We want to promote your music. We like what you do. Because at that point, everybody was telling me they didn't like anything I did. So, you know, here you are, you work, you got an original sound, you did your path. Then you have these other guys come in and tell you, oh, we're changing everything about you. Because to them, it's disposable art, and to you, it's living art.
Well, I think you're right. I think that you have to stay yourself. You have to be true to yourself, because otherwise you become cookie cutter and like everybody else.
Well, the thing about me was I wasn't like everybody else.
That's true.
And that's what made me famous.
The song that made you most famous, I believe, was Girls Just Want to Have Fun, right? Was that the big one?
What did it was, now, Girls Just Want to Have Fun would have gone by the wayside had there not been Time After Time right after it.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun. You introduced number two, and you introduced that song with your whole wrestling connection, WWF at the time.
Because at the time, Howard, radio wasn't playing Girls Just Want to Have Fun. They said we had a note from the best program director in the country that said they would talk to us and tell us, you know, how we could adjust my career, because Girls Just Want to Have Fun would never be played on Top 40 and is not album radio because I sing too high.
So you wisely, now I understand this WWF connection.
Dave Wolf loved wrestling, and it was his idea, and he said, I have another idea.
I'm going to put you on WWF, and you play Girls Just Want to Have Fun on the WWF.
Friday night, Saturday morning, and Saturday night. He said you'd get 3 hits in a weekend.
He found an alternative way to distribute the music, not using the radio.
Yeah,
and it paid off.
Cross promotion, and we had fun.
And so the record starts to sell from the WWF fans. They go, hey, we want to get a copy of this Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And
well, no, there were people, we had little episodes every once in a while, and that wound up on E.T. as a news item. And all of a sudden, what we were doing was bleeding over to all these different mediums. And we were having a riot. So we said, okay, now we know what we're doing. And,
right.
And so it was on MTV. It was on news. It was...
I didn't realize the wrestling had such an effect on your career, a positive, because I was like, why is she doing that? I was already aware of you as an artist. I was like, why is she doing all that wrestling? But that makes sense to me.
Well, I stayed.
You thought outside the box.
Yeah, but I stayed because it was the one place that Dave Wolf and I could still work together as equals, not as just he's your manager.
Where is he now?
He's managing a girl named Beth Hart and a few others, and he's in L.A.
Wasn't that a dumb move, though, for him to not continue to manage you?
We couldn't.
Because why? You were lovers that broke up?
It was, it was too much. Yeah. And
you were madly in love with him.
He was with me, but the problem was, honestly, in the end, I really feel like I was born in this planet to do something larger than myself. And it's not just about having any hit song on the radio. It's about communicating on the radio a song that actually makes people feel either elated or have a deeper sense of their self, like what I did with the story and the sound of all of those songs. None of them were disposable. I was very picky, and I arranged them in a certain way, and what I wrote specifically until I got to A Night to Remember. Then that got a little wishy-washy because I was trying to please the record company, but there was no pleasing them because it was still me.
But True Colors, I mean, not True Colors. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I want to go back to this.
Yeah.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That was a song originally written
by Robert Hazard.
By a guy.
He wrote Escalator of Life. He had a really interesting sound coming out of Philly. There was Robert Hazard, and there was the A's.
Who brought you that song?
Rick Chertoff. Because Lenny, Dave Wolf knew Lenny.
Who's Lenny?
Lenny Pizzi was the man who started Portrait Records, and he signed me. He had worked for Epic. He signed Boston. He worked with.
Is he your savior? Is he the guy who came into your life and figured it all out?
He was the guy, yeah, and he was not like the regular record company guy.
Right.
He was nice. I mean, you thought he was a phony because I kept thinking, this guy, he can't be that nice.
And
but
he was
actually
nice.
Was.
So some men in your life are nice.
Well, I have a lot of nice men in my life, and I have a son and a husband. I live in a guy's house.
Right. And so going back in your life now, I'm going to go backwards again.
All right.
All right. You get out of your parents, your stepfather, you get away from him, you leave at 17. You don't know quite what you're going to do, how you're going to make money. And you tried a bunch of different things, including being a stripper.
I wasn't a stripper.
You were a stripper.
No, I wasn't. I worked as a topless dancer.
Isn't that the same thing?
No, because the strippers they stripped. You went on and you danced and you did I was a performer anyway, so I made up a little story and did a show.
You didn't realize guys just want to see your breasts.
Yeah,
they don't care about a performance.
Well, whatever.
Right, you're an artist. So you would get on stage as a young stripper.
As a topless dancer.
As a topless dancer, and you had routines
and
you were putting
were different.
Yes, but
you
were putting.
Where were you topless dancing?
Well, they didn't let you go. I never got to the good places. I would take a bus up to Nyack, and there'd be another girl dancing.
That's awful.
And sometimes
you were playing the out of town.
And you didn't tell your mother, right? I mean, you just kind of kept that quiet.
At one point, I did, and she was a little disappointed.
Right.
Yeah.
Would they pay you a decent amount of money, probably?
Well, you could make $250 a night, and if you sack some of that away, you could buy a PA system, and that's what I was trying to do.
You're financing your music career.
Yeah.
Right, and that's pretty damn good money back in that day.
Because my band said, you could always do this. You make a lot of money. And sometimes one of them would come and pick me up from the gig if it was close by.
But you said even the men at the topless, but here you are taking off your top and giving them a show, and even the men were rude to you then. They would yell shit out to you, disparaging comments. They'd tell you you smelled.
Yeah, that would drove me crazy.
I mean, that's the worst thing you can say.
Then you go back and you try again with, this and, all these cleansers and,
It's true.
Oh, my God.
The lowest thing you could say to a woman is, oh, you smell. I mean, that's such a rude comment.
Well, when I was growing up, it was a very sexist time. It always is. But, recently I was at a concert, and it was hip-hop and electronic, all kinds. And this African-American young woman, beautiful songwriter, I guess, and singer, and she came up to me, she thanked me for my work, and she said, especially in this time of rape music.
Rape music?
Rape music. And I said, what is that? And then all of a sudden I started to think about it. Now think about it. If you're a girl and you're listening to the hip-hop and they're talking about your pussy's wet and it's all this assaultive talk.
Yes.
It's rape music for her. For me, I shut it down.
Well, it encourages men to think of women as, disposable.
Well, it's the suits, the heads of the company. They won't put out anything else.
Right.
Ask the young rappers. They'll tell you.
Right.
If you write about sex and drugs and violence, and then that's
then
cool.
you get play.
But I mean, I focus on men in your life because all of your early experiences, you describe in the book. You went hitchhiking. That's how you got. Everyone back in the day used to hitchhike. One guy wouldn't let you out of the car, and you had to blow him to get out of the car.
Oh my God!
I mean, that's got to be the lowest fucking scary situation. I mean.
Listen, I don't
look
know
how unprotected you were.
I'm alive.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I always had a guardian angel.
Where were you hitchhiking that something horrible like this happened?
I just wanted to get to a job interview because I couldn't get there.
All alone. You decide to stick out the thumb and I'm going to get to someplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get in a car, you're an attractive woman, and boom, bam, boom, the guy's threatening your life, right?
Well, what are you going to do? So I survived, and then I went on the interview. I didn't do too well.
Did you go to the police about what happened, or you just said, hey?
I hitchhiked, so I guess it was my fault.
Oh, come on. Do you believe that?
At that time, yeah.
But do you still believe that it's your fault?
I don't think you're supposed to hitchhike. I think
yeah, but you would still, wouldn't you turn him in today?
I've hitchhiked in my life.
To happen to you?
And you know what? It's always a bit, you know what happened to me? I was hitchhiking in Arizona with a girl I knew. And these local guys picked us up, and they were into guns. They had guns. And they pull over on the side of the road, and they start firing off their guns into the cactus. You know, they shoot up the cactus. And I'm like, oh, my God, what the fuck is going on here? I didn't know from guns.
And you're with this girl.
And I'm with this girl, and I'm like, and nothing inappropriate or weird happened, but I just remember feeling very unsafe. I mean, the situations we put ourselves in as kids, because we didn't know any better, it was a naivete, it was an innocence.
But now you should know, don't hitch.
Well, I think people do know.
And if somebody does something like that to you, you call the cops.
But don't you come out of this all, Cindy, thinking, God, I didn't have a father who protected me. I didn't have a mother who really protected me. She might have been a nice woman.
No,
okay,
she
listen,
tried.
I'm not saying anything bad, but she really wasn't there.
Herself. No, she
That's what I'm saying. And you didn't have a strong role model. Your mother didn't stand up.
Well, she tried to put us in a convent. She stood up to him all the time. She got her butt kicked. She put us in a convent for a while to protect us too.
Is your mom still alive?
Yeah, she was in all my videos, Howard.
Ah, what do I know?
Well, you should.
But your dad died, your biological father who abandoned you at 5. And you said you feel bad sometimes that you didn't sell out as a recording artist because you would have had a lot more money and you could have afforded at that time to pay for your father's hospital care. Right? You say that in the book.
Well, for all of them. Just to take care of everything.
Why would you want to take care of this man who left you when you were... I think that's beautiful.
Howard.
What? Tell me. Explain it to me.
It's your father.
Your father who left you when you were 5?
He had a divorce. He left the house.
But why couldn't he visit you?
He did visit
He did?
us.
Was he good to you?
Did he pay child support?
Yeah, but I'm saying, did he protect you from...
He didn't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because it was never a good time to tell him. And
so he stayed in your life?
Yeah, of course he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he paid child support.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a lot, but you know, who knows
he helped
back
out?
then. Yeah.
So you felt bad because if I had more money, I could have taken care of my father.
Well, yeah, my whole family.
I got the sense that you felt unprotected for some reason. When I look at this situation,
you know, you with people who really can't take care, you know, protect themselves. It's an odd way, you know. I think I'm grateful that I was born into a situation that gave me great insight, because now when I sing or if I write about
you have real pain.
No, I have real understanding about what real people go through.
But I mean,
you can't just dismiss people as the 47%.
Yeah.
That's right. I agree with that. And it just seems the whole thing with men, too. I mean, one boyfriend of yours gave you hepatitis. Again, right? Am I right?
They always came with gifts.
Yeah, now why do you laugh at that? I mean, it's one horrible story after another.
No, because I was in the hospital, right? And they thought I had a dog disease because I worked in the pound. They thought because I cleaned up, you know, when you work in the pound, you clean up the vomit and the poop
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, but it is because the dogs are so loving. And so they thought I had a rare dog disease. And then I heard a nurse talk to another nurse, and she said, well, what does she have? And she said, she's hepatitis. She said, how did she get it? And she said, she had an affair. And I just felt to myself, all of a sudden, it was like an old movie. I had an affair. It was like Betty Davis.
Right. Like you were the Scarlet Letter.
Glamorous.
like no one had ever had an affair.
Well, I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, men are horrible. I read this book, I Hate Men. What, one guy, I think it was the same guy, would tackle you and sit on your chest. And
no, different fella.
A different guy. Another winner. Another winner.
Friend. He would fart on my head. It was not so
my
good.
God.
And he'd say, now can you hear?
Oh, no, that was a boyfriend.
Yeah, a boyfriend.
Yeah, he just, poor thing.
He would say, poor thing. You think he's the poor thing?
Well, you know why? because I got out and I was able to become who I was meant to become.
Do you ever Facebook these guys? And
No.
are you friends with them on
Why?
Facebook? I don't know. Just curiosity to see what they look like?
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's just horrible. The whole story is sad.
I didn't think it was so sad.
Well,
it's
it's
not
a
like
story of
Cindy
triumph.
Havisham. There's other things in there.
By the way, it's interesting, too, your take on the WWE. I would think that, like, Vince McMahon and his wife would be great friends of yours. But you were disgusted when Vince McMahon's wife ran for office, and you made an excellent point. You said, why would she run for office, a job that essentially is taking care of people, when wrestlers don't even have health insurance?
Well, they're not taken care of very well. But, I mean, listen, it's an entertainment thing, and they hire them as independent contractors. But when you see them, you know, some of them hobbling, and still their love for it. They love it so much.
They love the occupation. They love being entertainers. They love wrestling.
And they love wrestling.
Right.
And that's part, for me, is sad.
But you're negative about Vince and his wife, I guess.
Was I negative in the book?
No, but you have made the statement that,
I
you know,
said, yeah, the whole the senator
Running for Senate.
thing. Yeah, that's scary. But, you know, listen, I understand the wrestling thing, but when you start to step out and want to run the state, that's frightening.
Well, yeah. So, getting back to this amazing career, time after time, an amazing story. I think that's one of the greatest songs ever, Time After Time. Anne Murray turned that song down.
No. You see, what happens to the facts? You didn't really read the
Give
book.
me the, well, you know, I'm sketchy.
What are you
Right.
doing, Howard? You're just making things up.
No, I'm not. Come on. Cindy, what do I don't know
Robin, the
everything.
facts are
I'm a
changed
judge
to
on a
protect
talent
the
show.
ignorant. All right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, he
What are the facts of that?
The facts are, Time After Time was a song that was written for the She's So Unusual album, and True Colors was a song that was pitched to Anne Murray.
Right.
And it was kind of...
So I'm right. Go ahead so far.
Actually, you said Time After Time was...
Okay. I got the name of the song.
That's
I'm sorry.
pretty intense.
Well,
That's
come on.
pretty
Listen,
big.
I'm not living your life. You can correct me.
No, that's a big...
All right, go ahead.
Big part that's
Right.
different.
Yes.
And True Colors had come, and my friend Gregory had passed away, and, you know, they were my very close friends. So at that age, when you have friends, you think you're going to live forever, I guess, and be old and sipping mint juleps. Not that I like what that tastes like, but the idea of it at the Pink Hotel somewhere, you know.
Right.
And it didn't happen. So we were very sad, and we had the funeral. I was doing the song, and all of a sudden I stripped the song down because it was, it was pitched for Anne Murray, so it sounded like country, western, gospel. So I just was working with Peter Wood at the time. Did you ever know Peter?
No.
Well, anyway, he
I don't
was a
know anybody.
wonderful keyboard player at that time, and he played with Roger Waters, and anyway.
Right.
So he I said, just make the chords that we use. So he kind of did different voicings, and I stripped it down and just sang with the keyboard. And then when I went back into the studio, Lenny was working with me, and I said, I just want the voice to be like when someone's driving in a car, you hear it in your ear like a whisper, and everything in the song has to call to your soul. So I put a drum sound that was kind of an archaic, like an old, sounded like an ancient drum,
Right.
call to the soul, and then kind of whisper in their ear, and it was a healing song. So I thought that would be the best way to heal people on a medium that does not have that kind of music on it ever.
Right.
And so, Girls Just Want to Have Fun kind of healed people too. And it didn't have that kind of sound on it ever either. So I took a chance. And of course, the promotion guys are like, son, where's the music? Come on, you're killing me.
Right.
But it couldn't take a lot of music, because once it did, when the lyric is that honest and deep and sentimental,
You strip it
can't-
down.
Yeah, you don't put more sentimentality on top of it or over sing it, because then it becomes sticky and cheesy and schmaltzy.
I feel a lot of music today is schmaltzy.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah,
that's what they think that's what sells. They kind of undermine the people or underestimate the people.
But maybe it's because the singers aren't as good. Maybe they're afraid to strip down. You know, when you strip down and take away some of that instrumentation and on the effects, suddenly it's all about the voice, you know.
Well, I thought it would be good. It would be an interesting, like, scientific experiment almost, you know, of seeing if you could talk to people's soul. And, you know, you listen to the radio all the time. Why not do a healing thing, something bigger than you? So I tried to make a song. I didn't write it, but I heard in the words something that was bigger.
How many records did you sell? Do you know the figure? I mean, do you keep track of that kind of thing? No. It must be an inordinate amount of records. I mean, huge.
No.
You don't know? You're not curious?
I don't know. I remember when they first came out, it was never good enough. I was never, you know, why aren't you more like Madonna? And I'm not. You know, I didn't want to.
Were you nervous about sales? Did you consider the business side of things?
Oh, my God, yeah, because it had everything to do with our home life. Because if I wasn't successful, that meant my fiancé was not successful, so...
You felt that pressure. You were carrying everyone on your back, so to speak. I mean,
little,
yeah. That's a lot of pressure to go through.
That's
probably
a lot of pressure on a relationship.
Yeah. Where you feel like, gee, is he here for me? Or if I screw this up, is everyone going to abandon me? Don't you think some of that goes on?
I didn't think about the abandonment thing.
Right.
I just felt about making people unhappy.
Is your favorite song that you do the True Colors?
Oh.
To me, that's my favorite one you do, you know.
Really? I like Sally's Pigeons. I like,
I feel that is your most raw performance.
Oh, it's naked.
Yeah.
It's naked. I like the blues stuff, too, because it was different. I like everything. I don't like to do the same thing over and over, so I don't think about my favorite. It becomes your favorite as you know, I have a long career.
Yeah, but when you do a concert, there's certain songs you have to do or the audience will walk away pissed.
Oh, come on. I wouldn't do that to them because you need to celebrate. But whatever the style, like when I had all the old blues guys with me, I did Girls Just Want to Have Fun in a kind of blues funky way because it was fun, really fun.
Right.
And True Colors, I had Charlie Musselwhite play harmonica. And I would sing to that and play a little dulcimer, too.
Do you work on your voice still? Do you take any kind of vocal... Did you ever take vocal lessons? You did?
I still study with Katie.
Why do you do that? Because as you get older, you've got to be very careful of that instrument, right?
No, you know what? No, not because as you get older. Because as you work more, you know, when you first start, everything's about your voice. So you go to your vocal lessons or you do your voice, or you make sure you're not doing promotion and touring at the same time. Everything is about you're a singer.
But is it fatiguing worrying about your voice all the time? Do you constantly do you keep your voice at a very low tone?
No.
You can you go to a game and scream and yell and not worry your voice is going to get wrecked?
I don't know if I would want to scream and yell. I went back to Katie after a while because I did The Apprentice. I felt like it really messed up my voice. There was everything like environmental stuff that irritated my throat and too much talking.
But don't you think that's a little bit of lead singer disease? You know, they always talk about lead singer disease, LSD, lead singer disease.
What is that?
That the lead singers are neurotic about their voice. Of course they are. They've got to work.
That's all there is.
But I mean, you know, oh my God, when you say to a non-performer, oh, the environment, it's polluting my voice, it's changing my voice, I can't raise, I need a day of vocal rest, I need 2 days of vocal. Everything revolves around that voice.
Isn't it great? But nowadays it's not. It hasn't been like that. I have, unfortunately, all these things like I have to leave for Chicago tomorrow because I've been writing music for the musical Kinky Boots, and so I write with my voice. And
you're writing that with Harvey Fierstein, right?
Harvey Fierstein wrote the book, and I'm writing the music, and Jerry Mitchell is the director. And now we have this amazing cast. It's
a brilliant story. I know about it. Kinky Boots.
I've seen that movie. It's based on a movie. Yeah.
Kinky Boots is the story of a guy who has a crappy business. He's a shoe business. He's going out of business, and he figures out he's going to make shoes for transvestites so that they can have big, oversized shoes, sexy heels and things. So it's Kinky Boots.
He finds a niche market that's underserved.
Right. And it's fascinating. And so you wrote the music, and that's going to be a play that I guess eventually will make its way to Broadway, right?
It's going to be at the Hirschfield Theater, and I guess the previews are in March. And right now it's previewing in Chicago, and I'm going to go there tomorrow to still adjust the music. And, because we have these performers, like you write the song, but then you get these wonderful people who, it's like a dress. You can't just put on a dress. You got to have it fitted to you. So, Billy Porter is Lola, and Stark Sands is Charlie, and you have this wonderful supporting cast of people. I tell you.
Hey, will you be in? You're in the show.
I'm not in.
You're not in it at all.
I'm writing.
You just wrote the music.
Yeah.
Big bucks in this kind of thing, or no?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You act like you don't know, but you know. Are you a wealthy woman? Are you a very wealthy woman?
No.
You are not. Why is that? You're a recognized name. You're a big star. You were in movies. You made music. You did it all. How are you not a wealthy woman?
Well, I never got the big deals that a lot of people got.
Who are we talking about? Like a Madonna type deal?
Well, no. Like when they were doing those deals where they'd sign a person for multimedia, and I was never, like, no matter what. I think my representation was really bad for a minute. For a while.
But when you had all these when you were topping the charts, don't you go out on tour and then sock it in? Isn't that the plan?
I thought I was, but I wouldn't I wouldn't sell out, and I wouldn't, invest in things that I thought was wrecking the rainforest, and I didn't want.
What do you mean you wouldn't sell out? You mean you wouldn't?
Well, in the beginning, Howard, you didn't accept any kind of sponsorship from a corporation.
Right.
Because if you did, that was kind of...
It wasn't cool.
Yeah. And right after me, everyone sold out.
Went corporate.
Well, the Stones, I remember, then started taking...
corporate.
They went corporate. Very corporate. Corporations started sponsoring a lot of tours. You're right.
Yeah. And then so I said, okay, well, what about if we go to Kodak and ask Kodak if they'd sponsor the True Colors tour, because the song True Colors and all the color we use...
ties in.
And they said no. And then afterwards, when my tour was over, they went to Billy Steinberg and Tom Kelly and asked them to use the song, and they must have heard me sing it live because I sang it a cappella.
Right.
So they got a little kid to sing it a cappella live for them, for their commercial.
And you didn't get it?
No.
Hey, vey.
It was like little things like that all the time. And does my son say, Ma, what happened?
Does your son understand who you are? How old is your son now?
Oh, he understands. He's 15. He's in the reality show with me and David.
When he, that's
kind of...
Is it hard on your ego when the kid starts in with you? Yeah, I mean, come on. You're a big star.
Can I tell you something? You have kids.
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
Do you, when you walk in the house with your kids, you leave that big
turn it
star
off.
shit outside.
That's right. You try to. You hope it doesn't get involved, because then you're a disaster. Kids, your big star is home.
I know. You try and forget. The dog doesn't care, I'll tell you that.
You're really gonna do the reality show thing with your husband? You did it. And
we're still filming a little.
Why open yourself up to that?
I had liked Mark Burnett's people, and I didn't.
After The Apprentice, you liked it?
No, I had signed with him before The Apprentice.
Oh, really?
I had gone.
I'm surprised you did The Apprentice.
Well, because I did it for the True Colors Fund, and it was able to fund the Give a Damn campaign.
Okay.
And I think I helped a lot of people with the Give a Damn campaign with the help of the people that worked with me. But we worked hard to try and help people. But
was it a positive experience doing The Apprentice, or did you hate most of the people?
I didn't hate the people. No, I really.
You don't get along with a lot of people, true? No. Didn't you meet Bruce Springsteen at some point in your career and it went horribly?
I love Bruce
But didn't it go terribly? Wasn't the story that you...
I went to a horrible Seder.
You went to a Seder?
It wasn't...
A showbiz Seder?
Yeah, that was bad.
And what happened? Bruce was there?
No, all these people were at this table, and it was so awful. They were the people I could never. I didn't even want to talk because what was I going to say?
Wait
There's
a
nobody
second.
to talk to.
Back up. You were invited to Walter Yetnikoff's house.
Yeah, no.
Was it not at Walter's?
No,
Where
it was at this restaurant where they had all these tables and everybody was going to, what they call it, mishbuka? What does that mean?
Family.
Yeah, so everybody was going to be mishbuka. And we were all supposed to sit there. It was Easter Sunday. And we eating stuff, I don't know.
Now, why were you
pancakes
uncomfortable?
Were good. The potato
If Bruce Springsteen is there.
He wasn't sitting with me, hon.
All right, but he's in the room.
He comes in. I went up to him and his new wife at the time.
Julianne
obviously,
Phillips.
That wasn't going good.
Right.
And I said, oh, my God. I'm so glad you guys are here. It was really rough. I'm sitting at that table. I couldn't talk to anybody. And the women only talk when they're spoken to. And when they do talk, they only talk. They're so fearful. They only talk about their husbands. There's nothing to say to anybody. There's Pia Isadora and her husband who does the female wrestling and thanks me. And you ever watch his show? All he does is the crotch shots. I was like, I can't even, you can't imagine. And she turned around and looked at me. She said, I know what you mean. And then Bruce looked at me and gave me a dirty look. And I'm thinking in my heart sank and broke in a million pieces because I remember Rosalita and making beds when I was a housekeeper.
You thought you had a
singing.
soulmate in Bruce and he would understand you.
And he looked at me like that and I'm thinking, E2, Bruce?
E2, Bruce.
He's actually...
So in other words...
I had met him a time before, and he was really nice. That's why it was so surprising.
In other words, you felt Bruce, out of all the people in the room, would understand the awkwardness and the tension in the room for you.
He's a rocker.
And yet he looked at you like, how dare you?
Yeah.
He left you out there. He was like, this woman, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, then I felt like E2, Bruce.
Yeah.
And then, I became...
Maybe Bruce thought you were being disrespectful. You should get into the spirit of the thing, try to have some fun, and not turn everything into drama.
There's some really fabulous satyrs, and that wasn't one of them.
Was Bruce wearing a yarmulke?
No.
He was not.
He's in a leather jacket.
How
he was
dare
dressed
he?
as a rocker.
But he was acting corporate.
I don't know. He was strange. But
You will never work with Jessica Simpson again. After you worked with her on the Divas special, you were...
So you watch Bravo, huh?
Well, come on. Why not? What happened there with Jessica Simpson?
No, she's all right. She's
She's not your type of person.
She's not my type of talent either.
Did you get along with everyone on The Apprentice show?
I tried.
You didn't, did you?
I love Sharon.
When are you going to learn to play with others? You love Sharon Osbourne.
I love her.
Well, she's terrific.
And they didn't even afford her. They'd be talking about our business like we weren't there and we didn't know about our business. We knew more about our business than those guys dreamt about.
Because a lot of times men who run the business don't like to hear...
these were women.
Other women?
I wanted to be friends with this one of them because her hair was so awesome.
Yeah.
And the more I tried...
You don't connect well with some people. And listen, that's life.
No.
I don't connect so well with people either.
High school never stops. When you think outside the box, it ain't just your clothes. Because I tried to fit in.
Did kids make fun of you in high school?
In high school, a little bit, yeah.
Why, you dressed differently? Were you original?
I just, at one point, I checked out.
You checked out?
I couldn't take it. I hated it.
When you were doing your topless dancing, why did you choose the name Carrot?
Carrot Top?
Carrot Top.
Because my hair was red.
I see.
And it didn't matter. You just made up any old name.
I wish I could have seen you topless dance. I would have been honored.
Of course. Don't you have a table at Scores?
I don't have a table at Scores, but I'm going to get one very soon. Is it true Annie Leibovitz did a nude photo shoot with you? Where is that? Where can I look that up on the internet?
Oh, I got all of them.
You have them all?
But I don't
know
where they are now.
Is that true? Annie says to you, hey, Cindy.
No, I said, because I wanted to make art, and she was such an artist.
She is.
And I thought, we can make art, like John and Yoko, I wanted to make art.
Right.
And, that didn't.
What happened? You hated the pictures?
No, I didn't. Yeah, it was kind of dopey. She wasn't at her best. And then we did the True Colors album.
Right.
And that was beautiful.
But the nude thing was an attempt.
That was nude.
And so you said to her, Annie, I want these pictures. You give them to me.
Those. No, the record company, the people at the record company just gave them to me.
They did. Because they owned them.
Yeah.
That was nice. Hey, that's nice.
Yeah, you got those under your control.
Yeah, because who the hell, you can't use them for anything.
I want to see those. I want to see what happened when you try to make art. I have a feeling it was too pornographic.
No, it wasn't.
No? Why didn't you like them? You just didn't like the way your body looked?
Yeah, they weren't, it was okay. It wasn't great.
There was no art.
Well, it was trying, but we didn't make...
They didn't achieve art.
Yeah,
they made an attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Dylan, when you met him...
I love Bob Dylan.
I thought you were... I kind of got the vibe maybe you were disappointed because he said to you, you're not one of those bra burners, are you?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, card carrying. But I said, you know, listen, I said, being a woman, I would think I got to be concerned. If I'm not concerned about my civil liberties, who else will be? And he turned around and said, yeah. And I'm thinking, I didn't say anything.
What a conversation.
I didn't. Well, you know why? It was one of, you know, listen, if you think that I got tortured because in your heyday, when you first become famous, everybody's really nice, phony, not phony.
Right.
And then later on, they like to give you the old, you know.
Knife in the back.
Knife in the back. And then, you know, everybody goes through it. And maybe they were treating Dylan in those days not like he should have been treated.
But isn't it amazing when you meet some of your, because you're in the position you're in and you're a great artist.
Meet them.
But isn't
Don't
it
meet your
amazing?
heroes,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Isn't it amazing when you finally meet your heroes? They're just people. And do you ever say to yourself, how could that guy have written those songs? He's not that deep, and he doesn't seem to have simpatico.
No, he is deep. The problem was when he was growing up, the civil rights movement did not include women. He did not understand that women also needed to be free. And people today still think, well, what's wrong? They got everything. Yeah, you can't get paid the same. You know, there's a glass ceiling. You have to know your place.
But don't you find it amazing that some of the guys who have written some of the greatest love songs and beautiful, insightful lyrics are usually sometimes big assholes, right?
Well, sometimes they were born in the wrong generation.
Is that it? But how can they
You're
be
very
so
forgiving.
How
No,
could they be?
Robin,
But Cindy, how could they be so evolved?
They're not.
But how do they come up with those brilliant lyrics if they don't?
Because sometimes the best part of people is in their work. Like Picasso.
Right.
He was a real shit.
He was horrible.
He was a shit?
He was
Picasso?
a shit.
God.
He
Yes.
was awful to women.
Was he? How do I know that?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Don't you know
my
your history?
God.
Cindy, look
You
at me.
gotta
Do I
know
look like
your
I know history?
history.
I read comic books my entire life.
But Howard,
what
you're
history do I
talking
know?
to all these people. You gotta know.
People aren't interested in
He never
Picasso.
talked to
They want to hear dick
Picasso.
jokes. You know that.
Okay.
What
You
can
would
I
love
tell you?
Picasso.
All right. So buy my book, but there's no jokes like that.
All right. So you love... all right. Let's leave it at
But
that.
you should have read the book.
Cindy, listen. I just got in today. I'm going to get the book.
So
now
go
I'm
on.
interested.
I did write you a little inscription.
Did you write the book yourself, or did you use a like a co-writer?
Well, when it says Cyndi Lauper and Jancy Dunn, what do you think?
How involved was Jancy? What was the process? You
Well, I didn't want her to. They said, well, you'll have a ghostwriter. I said, the woman's not dead.
She's not a ghost.
So I don't like to take credit for somebody else's work. That
Right.
ain't my thing.
No, of course
So
not.
did you talk it and
Yeah,
she wrote it?
we
Yeah.
did interviews.
Right.
And then when I read it, I realized, oh my God, you know, some of the stuff
Very
she
honest
took,
book.
some of the stuff she took from stuff I had been writing, and a lot of it was interviews. And then I realized, you know, the one thing you didn't tell her, which you said you were never going to say, you may as well explain why you're the way you are. So I wrote about my childhood a little bit, just to give.
You wrote about it a lot.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 chapters. Well,
That's right.
yeah, I wrote that so that people would understand when they said about girls just want to have fun.
Was there a moment when they were vetting the book that they took something out that you wanted in that they took out?
Well, I think my editor was really sensitive. Amy, she was really sensitive about a lot of things.
You mean, in other words, she felt that you had gone too far?
No.
What? Then what did she feel?
No, she was editing stuff, but I said, listen, if you're going to edit stuff, you have to have all this other stuff so that it's not just a tell-all book. You don't want to make a tell-all book.
No. You want to have
make
some
something-
insight.
Yeah.
All right, look, let's get to some interesting things here. Cindy's Sally Pigeons and Springsteen's I see. Oh, what is this?
What?
Cindy, Sally, Pigeons, and what is this?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know. Cyndi Lauper's book, A Memoir, is in stores now.
Yes.
That's it? A memoir.
That's a memoir.
Yeah, I didn't want to call it like, a title of a song. I thought that'd be really corny. And
See Cindy, well, don't see her, but the musical Kinky Boots will be something that she wrote, the music.
yeah,
previewing
I had partners with that too. With the music.
Harvey Firestein.
No, he didn't write the music.
He
I
wrote
had
the
partners
book.
in the music.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but he's also your partner in the play. I mean,
Yes,
he wrote the play.
is.
Yeah.
He's the one that I did it because of him.
Right. And usually when he's involved, the thing's a hit, right?
Well, he's a wonderful storyteller.
The show is called Kinky Boots. For tickets, you go to kinkybootsthemusical.com.
Right.
And look for Cindy's reality show, Still So Unusual.
Yeah, I made him change it to Still So Unusual because I figured beat him to the punch.
You are unusual. You are. You're quirky.
A little
But
quirky.
that's what makes you interesting and creative.
The reality show, did they come up with shtick for you to do, or do you none of that?
I have a busy life, Howard, so I just tell them, come with me.
And you don't turn off the cameras when things get intense? If you have an argument with your husband, David, or you have a...
David is the easiest.
You never argue with him.
Oh, I do, but
Will the
it's not
arguments be
about...
on the show?
I don't know. There's no arguments.
Cindy, we want the real thing.
Oh, you do have the real thing.
That's right.
So.
Look for Cindy's reality show, Still So Unusual, on We TV.
We, women's entertainment.
Everything women.
Not really.
No?
No, that show, the show has a lot of, like, David and Deck just appeared a little bit, and then the network went crazy and said, "Oh my God,"
Well, we see great things, like weird things, like where you're hitting your kid with a hanger or something like that. Is there anything? Will we see that?
Well, I did the Kentucky Derby, and unfortunately, I dropped the F-bomb, which you could see on YouTube. Well, they didn't tell me it was a live mic.
Oh my God!
And they kept doing, how these parades are.
Shame on you.
Yeah, and my son then, the F-bomb.
Oh,
my son turned around and said, "Mom, Dad always says, if you don't curse when it's not important, you won't curse when it is important not to."
Your husband's a great guy. I know him. I like him very much.
He said to say hello.
Please say hello to him for me. And I look forward to seeing this reality show. I want to see what you're up to at home.
Well, it's not really, but it follows me at work.
Will there be nudity?
Oh, no, there's not.
He's back in the clubs.
Have you met President Obama? You sound like you're a huge supporter of his. Have you met him?
I met him once, when he was signing the hate crimes amendment.
I see. So you are personal friends with the president?
No, I said to him, I heard you open for Gaga. And he looked at me and he said, "What are you doing here? Why aren't you singing?" And he said, "Oh, he was very sweet."
Did he invite you to a Seder?
No.
No, all right.
Listen, my friend Howard Kaplan had a Seder, and it was a dress-up Seder.
Right.
And it was awesome. I went as the child. I wore a schoolgirl uniform, and I brought my ukulele, and I sang Kumbaya / Let My People Go. And my friend Chris Tanner, who's a performance artist, he went as the Pharaoh and sang The Jews Belong to Me. There was a lot of Moseses there.
Wow, it sounds
every Seder's not like
that. And
that's
they were
very
reading
unusual.
from the Bible. We ate potato latkes, and we read from the Bible, and there was other food, but it wasn't as good as the potatoes.
I see.
No.
By the way, I didn't even bring up that you accused Bruce Springsteen of stealing the loop of one of your songs. True or false?
That's...
What?
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't accuse him. This is what happened. I went on a photo shoot, and Patty was there, his wife.
Patty, yes.
And I had just been working on Hatful of Stars. And it was like a folk song or a soft song with a loop under it.
Right.
And Patty, I was playing it so I could take a photo shoot that would look like how the album sounded. And she looked at me and she said, "Sin, she commented on the loop and everything." And then a couple months later, Philadelphia was out, and it had a loop, and it was at a time where not a lot of people were using the loops.
Did you consider a lawsuit?
Why would you do a lawsuit?
I don't know.
Everybody, listen, at that time, people were using loops, but it was just a weird coincidence.
Well, you might have influenced them.
It's fine.
Listen, Cindy's book is filled with horror stories.
It was still a good... It's not. It has
is.
funny
I didn't even bring up the worst stuff.
But what about the funny stuff?
Worst thing in there?
I know it is.
Your band member who assaulted you with a dildo.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. Some of these people should be in jail, I got a feeling, after this book.
If you don't call the cops right away...
But, Cindy...
It's hearsay. That's what I was told.
It's depressing.
Yeah, but there's other things. At least
I understand.
You know
and I admire you for putting it in there. I honestly do.
Well, what do you want me not to say anything?
No, I admire this. But it's sad.
And
it's a sad life.
But it had some great stuff, too.
Robin, imagine you're in a band.
Yeah.
I mean, what's Cindy trying to do? She's trying to be successful. She's trying to work with musicians.
She's trying to make everybody successful, right?
They hold her down, and they're assaulting her with sex toys.
Me?
I mean, against her will.
It wasn't just a guy. It was 2 women.
2 women with the guy.
Which is like God telling you it's not just men.
What did you think of that? I mean, what do you say to somebody after they do something? Were they doing it like
I
kidding?
said, why?
And what did they say?
Oh, she wanted to make him happy.
She wanted to make her boyfriend happy. So, in other words, he wanted to see you guys get it on.
Who knows? I don't know.
Maron.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But there was never any. You never got back at any of these people.
Do you keep playing with them?
No, I did at the time because I thought it was a way they would. It was a power struggle, and I wasn't going to give up singing just because this happened. And so I stayed and made a plan of how I would. I knew it would take me 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
To be successful.
But you never got the dildo and then clobbered them.
I almost did, and then I dropped it.
Give me their names. I'll fix them with that dildo.
Can I tell you what happened?
What?
In the end,
yeah.
I became successful.
So what?
They did not.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's not so what? That's
so what?
amazing.
No, it is amazing that you became. But I don't like that these people go unpunished. I mean, this is outrageous. What would happen to you?
Life. Life punishes you.
Yeah, look at my face. You want to see punishment?
It teaches you.
I mean, good Lord.
You gotta, and honestly, I put it in there because, when you go on auditions, if you want to go, don't go alone.
No, and also it's very inspiring that you kept going on. I mean, other people might have stopped.
When people tell me life was too hard, bullshit. You're gonna be a shoulda, coulda, woulda person. You don't want to be beaten down by things.
Have you ever confronted your stepfather, the guy who?
I don't even want to. I don't talk about.
You want me to confront him?
No.
Or,
you know what?
I'll protect you.
I'm sure he's old and decrepit.
Who even knows if he's alive?
Right now, you can handle him.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you're a kid, it's different.
Right.
You are something else, baby. You are something else.
I'm tough.
You are a tough broad.
You're an inspiration.
Yeah.
But that's why I wrote that, so that other people who if we all shared our stories, then I grew up in a time where there was women consciousness raising. So you listen to other women's stories and you learn from them.
I find a lot of women aren't supportive of other women. I mean,
that happens, and that's what happened at The Apprentice, which really made me upset because
it shows you
sisterhood is powerful.
Shows you things haven't changed, even on a dopey fucking reality show.
Lot of
you see true colors. That's what true colors.
Minute, Howard.
That's what true colors, Robin, is about.
Well, the thing is that. Well, see now, but the thing is, Howard, women are raised in
a society
that they take on the same learning.
That's right, Robin.
That men have about
I taught
women.
Robin that.
And you get that reaction. So now stop it.
Look at you. Meanwhile, you look good. That's what's most important. Remember that.
Oh, thank you.
Goddamn right. All right, look, Cindy, you've entered enough.
Have I?
Yes.
But there's some funny things in the book.
Well, no one wants to hear that. We like the more salacious stuff.
It's more Cindy.
We'd rather hear about Cindy being assaulted than laughing. Well, there's a lot of other stories in there, like Cindy posing nude for a college art class, but we'll get to that another time.
Wow. I was the first streaker in my college. Female streaker.
You must have some body you're busy showing it off to everybody.
No, when you're young, it doesn't matter.
You're constantly nude in the book. I mean, really,
naked.
Keep your clothes on. Well, good for you. You're a lot of fun, I'll tell you that.
All right.
Right. And the book is called A Memoir. Cyndi Lauper's book is called A Memoir.
Well, it is.
It's essentially a memoir.
What do you mean, essentially? It is a memoir, you silly.
Are there pictures in the book?
Yeah, tons
Any
of them.
nudes?
No.
Oh, too bad.
Well, one that's very, you know.
The Annie Leibovitz pictures should have been in there. Would have sold 1 billion copies. He's sitting on Easy Street right now, honey. All right, look.
Well, did you look at the book?
I refuse to look at the book. Why would I ever read a book?
But it has
I
nice
might learn
pictures.
something. Of course I'm going to read the book.
No, it has nice pictures.
It does good. All right. Well, listen, I'm sure if you're involved, there's good pictures. Cyndi, I love you.
I love you too, Howard.
I'm sorry some of your life has been so hard.
Howard.
And I want to say something now.
There's good and there's bad, but there's
Sure it
still
is.
a lot of good.
I haven't found it
Everything that
yet.
happened to her made her who she is today.
That's right. And that's why
At least you're pretty. Look at my face. Imagine what life was like for me.
Did they tease you a lot?
Tease me?
You were taller.
I was beaten senselessly.
How could you be
They ran him
by,
by women, the very women you defend.
Really?
Yes, I was beaten up by women.
Oh, that's too
women?
bad.
Yeah. Imagine
I don't
getting
know.
that.
He's...
What, Robin? You know in
Like
my
gangs
neighborhood,
of women beat
girls,
him up.
not gangs, one-on-one.
That ain't right.
And it's not right. It's emasculating. And look, I want to say something to Bruce Springsteen if he's listening.
He is a great talent.
Bruce,
and,
when
know,
you're at a Seder,
he has
excuse me.
children now. He has daughters.
Bruce, when you're at a Seder, put on a yarmulke, for God's sakes. And if Cindy's having a hard time,
Help her out.
help her out. Don't abandon her. She's trying to relate to you, artist. But I'm going to tell you this.
He's a nice guy.
I heard Bruce Springsteen is very fun at Sukkot, which is a very...
What is that?
That's where you go in a 3-walled hut, and there's fruit on top, and Bruce comes to life in a Sukkot.
What do you mean?
It's a religious holiday. That's his holiday. He's not big on Seders.
Really?
If you went to a Sukkot with him
I don't know if
at
I
Walter
like
Yetnikov's house, you would have a really good
he
time.
Has that? Oh.
Right. Look, there's a lot
is
of things...
anything that's like a Catholic thing there?
No, Bruce,
I mean, I'm
Bruce
recovering
is Jewish. He's a Steen, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, but he's also Italian.
That's true. I don't believe that.
Is he Jewish?
I don't know.
He's Italian Jew.
Yeah, that's right. There's many other stories I couldn't get to in Cindy's book.
That's why you
Even
leave
more
them
horrible,
wanting,
more
and
horrible stories.
They go
Please,
out and
Cindy,
look for the book.
Some terrible things in there. I felt you had an abortion. We didn't
When
even
I was a kid, yeah.
I felt bad.
I wouldn't have got pregnant if I thought I'd get pregnant. They said I couldn't get pregnant.
Did you ever?
Who said you couldn't
get pregnant?
Well, you know, when you go for all the examinations and doctors, you have this and this, and it's not going to be easy to get pregnant.
What country did you go to a doctor? That doctor sounds terrible.
70s.
Yeah. And he told you couldn't get pregnant. You got pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you have nightmares about that? Because I know you would probably...
I wanted that kid, but, it didn't happen.
Wasn't the right time, I don't think.
No.
Whose baby was it?
It was Richie's.
Richie?
My boyfriend at the time, who was in the band, and
He
didn't want to have a kid. So what are you going to do?
Did he know? Did you
have
insult
a kid?
him?
Yeah.
You did.
What do you want to have a kid with somebody you don't want to have a kid?
No.
I don't want to have another person that doesn't feel wanted.
Let me tell you something. A couple of people I know should have had abortions. They're terrible parents. All right, listen.
I don't know if I'm a great parent. I'm trying.
I think you're a great parent. From what I hear. I asked David about you.
David's wonderful.
He says you're okay as a parent. All right, look.
You're okay. You're just
Cindy.
making it up. You're riffing right
I'm
now.
riffing,
Yeah,
baby.
you're riffing.
We're flying, man.
Well,
Look.
it's always good to see you, too.
It's good seeing you.
I'm sorry you felt it was sad. I thought I put enough funny stuff
No,
in
you're
there.
a triumph. Your life is a triumph. You're a wonderful artist. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
And God bless you.
Gosh, I hope you like this music. There's some stuff in there that I think
We'll see.
we really got good. I'm writing with that guy, Sammy James, from Mooney Suzuki.
And he didn't tackle you. He didn't sit on your head.
No,
He
he's
didn't...
younger
Nice
than
guy,
me. He's a
nice
good
Nice,
kid.
nice guy.
He's a good kid.
All right, thank God, because that could be the second book.
No!
All right, Cyndi Lauper's book, A Memoir, is in stores now. We got to take a break. Then I'll do a little news with Robin. And
All right.
And then that's the end of my day. All right, we'll be back right after these words.
Cindy, I just want to ask you about something you mentioned.
Could you do me a favor?
Surely.
Put the camera
Bring it up a little bit?
yeah, it's much more
You got it.
attractive.
A better angle for it? Okay.
Thank you.
When you were talking about your childhood and some of the difficulties you went through, and you said it's always a good story as long as you live through it.
Yeah.
That's a really amazing perspective to have on something when you're going through all these tough times. Where do you draw all that positivity from?
I don't know if I'm positive all the time, but when you're in it, you know, I don't know. I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian.
But you're able to look back on like really, really tough times and say that and mean it.
You know what? You must never let a no or an obstacle really stop you if you want to do something. Depends on how stubborn you want to be about it. You want to do something, you always find your way around the brick wall. There is always a way around. There are many ways to skin a cat, and you always have to remember that. And that's what I try and tell my kid, and that's what I try and tell other younger artists coming up.
That's a really cool message. Best of luck with your memoir.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you again.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
This is a Howard TV original production.
On this episode, Medicated Pete decides to get a toupee. Will the procedure go as planned? And most of all, what will Howard think?
So what's with Medicated Pete's toupee?
It's interesting looking.
What's your problem?
Testing, 1, 2.
Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Hey-oh, yeah.
I came up with the idea of getting a hair piece when I was thinking about bettering myself with the ladies. Having a hair piece would give me more confidence and just more self-esteem.
My name is Karan. I own Hair Enhancement Studios. I'm currently located inside of the Cactus Hair Salon. I've been doing hair replacement for over 30 years. I originally met Pete back in January. I had been working with Benji and Elisa with their hair and makeup.
I first met Karan at a Benji Elisa's show, and we got to talking about hair pieces and everything.
He was relentless. He was like, really, you know, can I have your number? I really want to find out about hair.
It so happens that I have this appointment now to get this hair done, so it's pretty interesting. When I was heading out to the Cactus Salon and Spa, I was pretty nervous, pretty anxious at the same time. I was really looking forward to doing this.
Hi,
how are you?
You must be Pete, right?
I'm Pete.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
nice
I'm
to meet
Sam.
you.
Come with me and I'll bring you down to Karan.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
You excited?
Nervous though.
A little nervous, don't be nervous.
Yeah.
You'll do good.
When I first walked in, I saw Karan's assistant, Samantha. I couldn't take my eyes off her the whole time. I was just really taken aback by her.
Sam brings Pete down to our private area of the salon where we do the hair replacement, and her job is to fill out a medical history form with all the clients.
Do you have any allergies? I'm just going to go down the line. If you have them, let me know. Lanolin, bacitracin ointment.
No.
PABA.
I don't know what that is. But
Yeah.
no.
All right, I don't think you have it. Right?
No.
Lidocaine.
What is it?
Lidocaine.
I don't know.
Latex rubber of sheepskin.
No. No.
No.
No. Almost like flirting to a point. and it was kind of cool, and I did have wood. I definitely did.
Are you taking any medications that would affect your blood pressure, like Viagra or Cialis? Is that a no?
Not Viagra, but
Cialis.
I'm fine there, you know. I don't need, you know. My answer was no because I'm full of stamina.
Are you concerned with having your hair fall off during exercising, swimming, or sex?
Definitely during sex. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a big it's a big concern of mine, you know.
You don't want that hair falling off.
But you know, we'll see. When Samantha was done, she took me into the room with Karan, and at that point we had the actual consultation then. Hey, what's up, Karan? How you doing?
Good, that's everything.
Good to see you.
Come on in, have a seat.
Sure.
This is paperwork.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Sam.
Oh, man.
All right, cool. All right, Pete, so I'm glad we're finally doing this.
Yeah.
Right? During the consultation, I had to ask Pete what he's looking for in terms of the look of his new hair. Do you like the length that you have over here right now?
A little longer.
You want longer than that? How long do you want?
A little more spikier.
Spikier. Yeah, you want to have like a, yeah, absolutely. You want like a spiky look. Like, to me, the hair, just look in the mirror for a sec. The hair that you have here is a good length. That's a good, like, about a good inch and a quarter, okay? So if you had that all the way into the front area here, it would be like you had spiky hair. Here you have nice density, so we don't even have to really do anything with this. We would just be blending this area to go in with back here. When Pete came in for his consultation, I tried other hair replacements on him so that he could see what he would look like with the hair and also how it felt on his head. All the pieces, when they come in, they're very long. See how long this is?
Yeah.
They all come in like this. Reason being it's so that I can cut it in to design it to the person, custom design it to your own existing hair.
The hair pieces that I did try on were mainly for fun, but she did want to show me, like, what I would look like with a full head of hair.
Again, this is not made for you, okay? So if you could do me a favor, just hold.
Fantastic.
These pieces are used like, you know, movies, and, you know, you see somebody who's bald, and all of a sudden you see them in the movie theater and they have, like, you know, great head of hair. Do you see how natural that looks?
It does look natural. I'm just like, where that's gonna fall off too, you know?
It'll never fall off. We'll go over attachments, okay? Definitely. Well, are you into like rough sex and stuff like that? Because, you know.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So then you gotta worry. Okay?
I'm a menace in bed, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The fact that Pete could joke with me during the process of the consultation and the measuring made me feel really good that he was comfortable with me and what he was about to embark on. Yeah, there you go. That's like the typical rocker guy, right? Grunge, right? Yeah, right, exactly. You look more like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. I just have to fix a little bit. I might have to blow you. Is that okay?
This is. Let me whip it off. Let me whip it down.
I'm just kidding.
Come on, feel enough. Sam, what do you think?
I love it. You look like you're like from Wayne's World.
Hot?
Oh, definitely hot.
Hot?
Definitely hot.
Would you do me with this?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know how my boyfriend would like that.
All right. She broke my heart in 8,000 pieces by saying that she had a boyfriend, and that was a little very disheartening.
Towards the end of the consultation, I had instructed Pete exactly what would be happening when he came back for his installation appointment. As far as the pieces that I've, you know, we've gone over and I've talked about to you and everything, there are different ways to attach them. So that's what we're going to discuss next, okay? For you, what I would recommend is I have a medical adhesive. It's built into like a tape formation, and you would come to me for service like once a month or so. As your hair grows, you need a haircut, that type of thing. Yeah. And it gets attached onto the piece, and then I attach it onto you. And you could swim, scuba dive, shower every day, you can go to the gym. Everything you normally do in your life, you can do with that.
Right now I'm feeling a little nervousness and just want to have it go well. Have everything go well.
So how about I measure? You're all set? You think we're good to go and everything? You have any other questions?
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
In order to make a proper hair replacement for a client, what I have to do is make a mold. Just look straight ahead in the mirror, okay? And I'm just going to do this to you, okay?